let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe with Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's not static, AM radio. It's the Play Alberta Nielson Show. Let's go. Tune in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites. Nom, 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 nom.
Okay, here we go. Daddy. 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 Okay.
This is Joey, you're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk.
Okay, here we go.
This is Joey, you're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk.
Daddy. I don't give a damn. Daddy likes. Daddy.
This is Joey, you're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk.
Dreisaitl, the duck hunter. Daddy likes.
6:06, great Monday morning, Easter Monday morning to you and yours. Yep. The Nielson Show live once again for another week here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. And the Nielson Show, as always, brought to you by Weiss Johnson. Get a new train furnace now and get 15% off any additional mechanical system done at the same time. AC, heat pump, hot water tank, garage heater, and more. 15% off plus no interest for 24 months. Visit weiss-johnson.com and book an estimate today. Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev behind the monitors, keeping you updated on sports, and Dave Jamieson back again. Just can't get enough, can you?
Nope.
Hey, you actually,
We're continuing my residency at the Sphere.
You contacted us to say, pro bono, I'm coming in for, take another couple of days.
Exactly.
Hey?
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Happy Easter. You had
Same to you. Back
a
at you.
good ham. The ham was cooked, prepared.
No ham.
Salty and
No
ham.
ham. Ham free.
You
I
did you
went
entertain?
Ham.
You went ham.
No. This was not a typical Easter. You know, it was very stripped down, almost an acoustic session.
Easter in name only.
Yeah.
Really,
and that's
you
okay.
Had no chocolate. No,
a little bit. Just a pinch.
You can be forgiven.
Yes.
You did
just a little
gift us a few eggs as well on, on Thursday indeed. There. That was just nice. 780-218-9999. How was your Easter? Maybe it's still going on. I know a lot of the staff here did observe the Monday, booking ahead early.
Is this an official day off? I know the Friday, obviously.
Well, for the school.
Oh, right.
See, Jason Milne's got that thing where he didn't, I don't think he took it off, but his kids have it off, so you kind of have, it feels like more of a long weekend. But
gotcha.
It would be the play next week or next year to identify this early and move on it. And
lock in
snooze,
now.
you lose. Yeah. Trev, you had a ham, did you not? Or how was your Easter supper?
Turkey.
Had
some turkey. Yeah, it was good. Went over, visited the roommates, the old roommates, former roommates, and Yeah, lots of fun. Nothing too crazy.
Playing
Very
the
chill
Easter
night.
games?
Nah, no game.
Find the egg.
What an Easter? What Easter games would there be other than look for eggs?
Yeah.
Is there another one I'm not
No,
familiar
not
with?
really. But I think certain people have probably their own. They've developed
Reed
it over
Wilkins
time.
probably has a board game, like an Easter board game.
Yeah, he doesn't get drunk and hide eggs on the Saturday and then wake up in the morning forgetting where they are on Friday. We found that out on Thursday, but yeah,
Yes.
he probably has a board game or something. Pin the tail on the bunny.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Easy now.
What did you do for Easter? 780-218-9999. I hope it was a good one. But turkey.
Turkey.
Parson's
stuffing.
nose, the gravy, the whole bit.
It was great.
Yeah.
Not dry. It was actually really
God,
good.
I haven't heard that
Good
term.
gravy?
Good gravy.
Good gravy. Gravy
Goodness.
makes
I
it.
have not heard Parson's nose in a while.
I've never heard it.
Well, why don't you explain
Google.
to...
Well, yeah, I'll let you
Google
it.
Parsons,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Alan
yeah.
Parsons,
And you get
but
back to us
Parson's
here.
nose.
780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox.
It's the ring box. It's the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. And they got lots of fancy shiny things. Look at this, look at that. Not just for the ladies. They got jewelry for men too. The ring box, the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Any luck there? You get to no rush. Paris Jewelers inbox, flexible payment options such as do not pay for 1 year. You can shop in store, West Ed Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Center, or online parisjewelers.com. Canadian and family
Just
owned.
hey grok it. Just hey grok, and then it'll find it for you.
Spruce Grove.
Okay, that's funny. That's good.
Yeah, there
I
you
never heard of it as the Parson's nose.
Yeah.
The Pope's nose is what I heard.
The Pope. We could also, if you're,
Yeah, that's funny.
That's
No, I didn't have it.
unconventional Easter in Edson, Spruce Grove. Corey says.
Okay.
Spruce Grove, Edson, I guess. Mom made roasted chicken and lasagna. Hell of a combo there. Oil City Dynasty. What did I do for Easter? I won my fantasy hockey league. That's what I did.
Well
Conch
done.
me.
Not easy.
No, a humble brag, but congratulations to you. Love to get the bonus edition of the LTE and JMO show that comes in from Tube Socks. Great seeing Tube Socks as well. Thursday night, just want to give a quick shout out to VR Montenegro and everybody that popped by Boston Pizza Westgate for his send off. A legendary listener and viewer who you've probably
Just
seen out at
leaving
events.
these parts, but will remain connected.
Yeah, I mean, with the power of the internet these days, you're not really like too far off. Like you can still, but the beauty of him was he did make it out to a lot of events.
Yes.
I know Trev and I would see him tailgating in Elks games quite a bit of times. You saw him, you kind of didn't want to leave the side. It was one of those guys where I would kind of
glue guy.
I'd get a carabiner and just get it right into the belt loop.
Sure.
And then just
Stay close.
Stay close.
You'll never pay for a drink.
feed off that shark for the rest of the day. But no, him and his wife Ginger moving to Nipawin. Future Nipawin Hawk season ticket holders. I told him get to the Birdcage, watch some
Is
great
that what the rink is
SJHL
called
hockey.
in Nipawin?
Isn't it great?
God,
that's what
good.
you want, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. So Conch to VR Montenegro, and it was a hell of a night. Tony and Curtis, Boston Pizza Westgate. You know how they do, putting on a hell of a show. In 10 Pin Joey, on Friday morning, I spotted LTE walk past my car and into a Starbucks in this economy.
Where was this?
I didn't say hi fast enough, just here on the West End.
Okay.
My wife went into Starbucks and I had to stay with my kids in the car. I tried to convince my wife to say hi on my behalf. She refused. She now regrets not saying hi too. Moral of the story, hello. So hello. Hello to you and your wife.
Hey, go say hi to Lieutenant Eric. No. Is that...
I'd like
Just
to
a
know.
no.
That's like when Maddie told me the host lock shop. Now.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that. But
Definitive.
yeah. So yeah, have your say 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox. Of course, you are playing for a Royal Pizza gift card. Royal Pizza still making it great, top-notch service for over 55 years. You can order online, royalpizza.ca. Dave, you can order this morning and have the pizza delivered later tonight.
Really?
Get it all out of the way. Yeah, you can
Book it early.
book it early. Yeah. This far in advance. The spicy vegetarian is on now. Mushrooms, green peppers, red onions, green olives, and jalapenos, drizzled with mango habanero sauce. Perfectly fresh, bright, and flavorful, just in time for spring. And a great morning to everybody watching as well on YouTube. The Nasty Chat's coming along there. Like and subscribe to the
Subs.
channel if you haven't already. Yeah, we're looking for subs.
Chasing subs.
Be a Dom and sub today.
Aren't we all?
Yes, on the YouTube. And, of course, the iHeart TuneIn radio apps, the source, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and everyone listening this morning on the FM dial, 95.7 Cruise FM. I think it's a pretty good show. Variety.
That rocks.
That rocks. We had a little, we were going over some Def Leppard playing this in this one.
Sure.
Reed Wilkins probably a
They would
request
be
for
a
that.
core artist, would they not, in that kind of genre? Can I give a shout-out to Scott Oake, by the way?
Do you want to give him a conch?
Yes.
We might as well. I think Jack Michaels is calling him Oake on the broadcast.
Scott Oake, I don't imagine I have to explain who Scott Oake is. He's been on our televisions.
It's always good to
for you newcomers to hockey coverage in our country. Scott Oake is if not the best sports interviewer guy in that space doing post. It's not easy.
He's a good hot stove round table type of.
And he's done many other sports. He's done Olympics. He's done, them all. Did the CFL for many years. He was part of the broadcast crew.
He's like Maddie in The Hangout.
Yes, not unlike.
A fireside chat.
Right. Yeah. But he can elicit good interviews, compelling interviews out of hockey players. Do you know how hard that is to do that year after year after year? And where I'm going with this is not the old hockey players are boring, but you're catching a guy after a game, they give him the complimentary towel, and they sit Nuge down.
And they have pictures of the horses and the...
Right. Yeah. And he builds it out so that after hours is, in some cases, better than the game we just watched.
It's the point of that show, and you're right, it is sometimes getting blood from a stone, but the way he gets them, and especially post-game as well, when emotions are... you just got pumped. Care to sit down and tell me about the later side of life?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you there.
Did a great job, and I know he's not entirely gone, and I hope that,
Next Saturday, I believe, will be his final after-hours thing, and then after the playoffs. So, no, he's one of those guys that, again, you grow up, and, nobody stays forever, but this will leave a
and
bit
Vic
of a
Rauter
gap,
on the same weekend.
Vic Rauter, too. That get...
Canadian sports broadcasting institutions, if you will.
That hit me.
Yes. Yeah. Make the final.
Yeah, and of course, Vic Rauter's final was the World Men's Curling Championship over the weekend, featuring Matt Dunstone, and the disappointing end for him Saturday afternoon.
We had Vic Rauter on my show, our show, over at TSN 1260, and he was who you would think Vic Rauter would be, but he had a withering takedown of social media and the internet. It was great. He just absolutely, 2 kidney punches to the internet and it was over. Like he just had nothing good. And it was beautifully said.
Was it still in his Vic Rauter kind of,
yes.
He wasn't loose off, I wasn't having to dump the audio and he kind of.
No, it's almost as if he'd been waiting for someone to ask him the question.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, let me just roll up my sleeves. I've got something to share.
No, when I hear his voice, I think of the old TSN logo.
Black jackets, the old logo.
He's one of those guys
Michael
that
Landsberg
fit that.
on the desk.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Van Horn, Red as all that. But yeah, Vic Rauter. Conch, well, we gave one to Oake. Let's give one to Vic Rauter as well. We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio this morning. The 3-piece bone-in chicken right now for just $8. Still on, spicy or not, marinated for 12 hours, hand-battered, comes in portions that actually fill you up. Unreal value. If you haven't had Popeyes in a while, go see for yourself. Maybe an Easter Monday supper. A little bit of bone-in chicken.
Why not?
Why not? At a good price like that. In this economy?
Yeah.
I should say so. A pretty good show we've got lined up for you today. Once again, no Dustin Nielson today or tomorrow. So we will await his return on Wednesday. Morning announcements here in a couple of minutes. We'll get to your good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Lots to get to over the weekend on a variety of fronts. Of course, Oilers, Oil Kings, Blue Jays.
Well, you go into that buzzsaw that is the Chicago White Sox.
Well, the White Sox,
going to get burned.
White Sox and the Rockies. Now you just have this team called the Dodgers coming to town, which should be,
It's a World Series rematch, and you know what we're billing it as? Unfinished business.
Jays are a beneficiary of early on a bit of a weaker division anyways. But,
yes, they
are. I don't know. Where are you at with the Jays? 780-218-9999. Maybe it's your bad, maybe it's your ugly.
Okay.
Darren Dreger will be by from TSN at around 7:05, our GS Construction Hockey Insider, as he does every Monday. Another week, another coach firing. Hey, Dave, it's kind of seems to be you're in, you think about it. You've been in twice now. There's 2 coaches firing. This is
Coincidence? I think not.
Could be.
And do you recall we sat here and we guffawed,
I
openly
laughed.
guffawed
Yeah.
when the Golden Knights did what they did.
I
They had
peed
8
a bit.
games, and we're like, oh, McCrimmon, God, the Golden Knights, look at them, right?
Yeah, Tortorella.
And now the Islanders pulled a shoot with what? They've got 4 games remaining?
Yeah. Well, they've hit the skids.
I
here.
like it.
They're in a tailspin.
You can't wait around in this day and age for it to get better. The stakes are too high.
3-7 in their last 10. They're a point out of a wild card right now. You could argue that maybe Waugh didn't have the players to execute his style. Chicken, egg, whatever you want to. But you're right. I mean, it's just you look
Can't wait.
You look at where they are. You got to make a move.
DeBoer would have been snapped up. Well,
the DeBoer jet finally comes in for landing. It's been circling around NHL. It's been up in the sky doing the whole running out of fuel, and now we're clear. Pete, we're clear.
Bring it in there
Bring
on
it in.
Long Island or wherever they play now.
And that's it. So Pete DeBoer off the market. No more DeBoer jet, but maybe Cassidy jet moving forward.
Easy. You know what I found of all the nuggets you get when a coach is hired? DeBoer has the most number of Game 7s coached, I think, in NHL history.
Yes.
Yes, Game 7s.
Yeah.
Mr. Game 7.
That's what they call him.
Mr. Game 7.
Yeah. So we'll get Dreger's thoughts on that. Obviously the Tortorella era, we saw that Saturday night here in Edmonton. Oilers 5-game win steps. Like the Pacific now, I mean, this is tight. So we'll get into Oilers chat. We'll get into Islanders. Vegas
no
probably
Draisaitl, no Hyman, no problem.
Well, that's
not
a little
really.
that's a little too much.
Not really.
Yeah, that's not how the
really.
saying goes. It's just no Leon, no problem.
Yeah.
Stop there.
Until it is.
As Pelly would say, end of story, full stop,
Who
period.
saw the Sabres and Habs coming down the track?
Dreger's thoughts on the Leafs too, as it's been a week now, and we'll get his thoughts on the Toronto question.
Yes.
Play Alberta early bird. We got that's good for the Italian Center coming up midway through hour number 2. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's 3 questions to me for Park Mazda. Joaquin Gage will be by for his Monday appearance. Him too, dealing with Hernan Salas was taken ill last week, and now he's got a few days off this week. So we'll get Gager's thoughts on that, and then sporting
Who's in
stuff.
For
Matthew Iwanek. He'll be doing the show. Maybe you can give Gager. You did a lot of shows with Matt back in the day.
Sure
Maybe
did.
you could give him a
Carved out 9 years?
little inside scouting report on
Strap in.
What's it?
Could be a bumpy.
Mongoose.
Yes, yes.
Gage and the wrap for William Huff all still to come. Let's get into your morning announcements then, and it's for the Rundle Park short course opening soon. Affordable rates for juniors, seniors, and adults in walkable par 58 course. Great family-friendly atmosphere. Perfect for all skill levels, but ideal for shorter hitters and those just learning the game, which would be me. Snag a smash burger at Shorty's after the round. Check them out on Instagram and Rundle Park. SC, hey? Smash Burger Trophy.
Yum,
can't
yum,
wait,
yum, yum,
baby.
yum, yum,
That's
yum.
good.
I can't
Not
wait.
too far away. Most of that snow now, we had a good
You sure?
temperature. Look, it'll probably snow again, but who cares? It'll melt again, and away we go. Like the weather will be fine. But that's Rundle Park Short Course. Check them out today. Instagram, as I said, Rundle Park SC, and get yourself up to speed and everything they have to offer coming this season. Oilers, once again, the 5-game win streak snapped. Golden Knights coming in here. Golden Knights have now won 3 in a row. The Oilers 7-3 in their last 10, so still sitting pretty there this morning. Atop the Pacific, even on points, even on games played with the Ducks. Vegas Golden Knights, 86 points, even games played as well. So it's the 1-2-3 there. The Kings are now 5 points back of the Golden Knights with a game in hand for that 3rd spot in the Pacific. You've again got the Sharks, Blues.
Do it for
Jets.
Angers in LA. Do it for Angers.
There's something there. Hey,
Yeah.
they're trying a bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mammoth and Preds locking down your wild card spots. If the playoffs would start today, the Oilers would be drawing the Mammoth in that opening round, and that'll be next up for the Oilers as they are in Utah tomorrow night. 3 road games this week for the Oilers: in Utah tomorrow, in the Shark Tank Wednesday, and then in LA Saturday afternoon, 2:00 puck drop. For that one, the Oilers will then return home for a pair rounding up the regular season at home to the Avs on Monday and hosting the Canucks on Thursday. And just taking a look at those 2 other teams, Golden Knights also on the road this week, also back on the ice tomorrow. They're in Vancouver, Dave, Seattle Thursday, and Saturday night in Colorado. So that's the Golden Knights week. And for the Ducks, they will play 3 at home. hosting the Predators tomorrow, the Sharks Thursday, and the Canucks on Sunday. So that's
You know what?
your...
You know what, Eric? We cannot scoreboard watch. We'll drive ourselves crazy.
No, we
just
have to.
play the game in front of you.
Well, that's for the players, though. Remember, I said we can look past certain games. Last week we looked past, what was it, Seattle?
Yes, we did.
Kind of looked past the Blackhawks as well.
Sure we did,
I mean,
yes.
they got it, but Saturday wasn't a game. But no, I mean, whatever. You still playing some good hockey here down the stretch, but I do wonder about the Golden Knights here under Tortorella, where they've now won 3 in a row. And, I mean, is it more than a new coach bump, quote unquote?
No. It looks like they were completely changed. They've shed the skin, their old skin. They're like a lizard.
The Cassidy skin.
Yes.
Yeah. How about the other oil in town, though? The Edmonton Oil Kings, baby. How about this? They come back Friday. Blades win. Saskatoon going home up 3-2.
Confident.
And junior hockey, riding that bus like you're going.
But better buses now than they used to be.
Yeah, but so you go to Saskatoon yesterday, game 6, double overtime.
Back against the...
Back facing elimination.
Yes.
Parker Snell, big in net. Miroslav Holinka again coming up huge, and the Oil Kings forcing a game 7.
Mr.
Double
OG.
overtime.
Yeah.
Double overtime. Game 7 tonight, back here in Edmonton. Of course, pack the barn. Good tickets available. Good seats available. Good price as well. So get down there. 7 o'clock puck drop. Game 7. 2 best words in sports, Dave. Oil Kings and Blades. Tonight, your WHL playoffs opening round. 7 o'clock puck drop down at Ice District. Get out there and let's pack the place. It's the double overtime yesterday. You got to play again tonight. You get back on the give the boys a little support tonight.
That's how we produce the greatest players.
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Battle tested.
Yeah, Toronto Blue Jays, meanwhile, though,
Tell me more about them.
Well, they are Canada's team, Dave. I'm glad you asked. We do have to discuss them.
John Schneider, not happy.
Well, swept aside, shutout yesterday. 3-0 yesterday, all in Chicago to the White Sox. 6-3 on Saturday and 5-4 on Friday. This coming off a...
They've had 2 significant injuries already this season, right?
Yeah.
With Kirk now with the thumb.
They lost 2 of 3 as well to the Rockies prior to that White Sox series. But no, the pitching was banged up. The bats go cold. I think Addison Barger had a bit of a...
There's
a bit banged up or something there. Look, this is testing the mettle of a true championship contender, and you play through. It's a long season, Dave, as they say in Major League Baseball.
180, 162?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're still... I told you that we get geared up, we get all gacked.
We've played 9.
Gacked
yeah,
up for,
we were gacked.
Opening day.
Yeah.
And then we just let it go for a while.
4-2 at home, 0-3 on the road.
Okay, well then maybe there's an issue there.
Yankees top of the division at 7-2. Then you got the Rays and the Jays both at 4-5. The Orioles at 3-6. The Red Sox at 2-7. I know you talked about scoreboard watching early. Is it too early to be looking at these standings in Major League Baseball and saying, "Oh my God, what a worry"?
But guess what? Back at the Tropicana for the Rays, the new roof is on.
You love the Trop.
Well, I've never been.
Used to play the hockey out of there too. Eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot that. That's where they launched, right?
Yeah.
The Lightning played there.
Yeah.
Right.
Dodgers in Toronto tonight to take on the Jays. The Dodgers, who
Best team money can buy.
Yeah, well, them and the Brewers, both at 7-2 right now in your National League. And the Miami Marlins out in front of the NL East, 6-3, Dave.
Yeah.
Dodgers tonight, though. Scherzer back on the mound for Toronto, so we'll see. You got to, look, they'll get up for this one. They're back home. I'm sure the fans will be... You want to exact a little revenge here. It's going to be an emotional night, but you want Buck Martinez tossing the first pitch?
Well, I'd heard when he announced that he was not, he was going to retire and not return as the voice. It seemed obvious, and because who did the opening game? Because this is the Jays' 50th season, so
yes.
I think they had like a cavalcade.
They had Jose Bautista. They had a big candy lineup of certain,
right,
and they all
significant players.
21
through the
pitch
years.
salute, yeah.
So why wouldn't you bring out Buck?
I would.
Place will go crazy.
Don't let us down, Jays. Over to golf. It is Masters Week.
Tradition, unlike yes.
Thank you. JJ Spawn taking the Valero Texas Open yesterday, 17 under. So we will look ahead to the Masters. I hope Dustin comes back because it is one of those weeks for him and Hustler on the Lock Shop.
Oh, they get into it.
Well, that's like this Valero Texas Open was a bit of a tease before the main course here. But yeah, Masters week, gotta love it there. That'll be something to keep an eye on as well. What am I missing? I think we've gone over everything.
We've touched all the bases.
Any
touch them all.
Do you have any CFL free agency, Dave? You'd like to? Is there any movement
I'll be watching Artemis
on the
too.
Western Front?
Artemis too.
Hey,
it's a big
so
day.
what's okay? But
I got to get locked.
You've been watching all weekend long. Of course, you were here last week, and
in and out. Yep.
We saw the launch. No, but today they're doing the actual spin around, right? Or what?
Clubhouse turn.
Clubhouse turn. There was an interview where the astronauts joined a bunch of children. The kids get to ask some questions. I heard some of that. They asked them about funny things and everything such as that. But I think they're doing okay. They got the bathroom fixed earlier on in the week.
Yeah.
So everything seems to be ticking along. Like there's no...
Can you imagine? No, I can't, but I'd like to. What that is like, that experience.
Looking through a little window, a fogged up, icy window, and seeing Earth like just...
Hey, we were just there.
And then even the talking, I mean, there was a very clear connection.
They sound better than we do some days. Like, how is this possible?
Well, there's a space program. Maybe
that's true.
Something there.
Best and the brightest.
I know what I was missing here. And we would be remiss.
Now?
We would be remiss not to bring up the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James. 30 points, 9 boards, and 15 assists. 1 rebound away from another triple-double. Lakers, though, falling.
Oh, no.
In the Big D to Cooper Flagg. Another cool 45. I think he's got like 100 points in 2 games or something like that.
The next one.
Well, that's what we're seeing here. The past and present.
Yes.
Looking into the present and the future. But Mavericks topping the Lakers 134-128.
Did you follow any of the LeBron stuff on Memphis?
No, I don't care.
His comments around
what was he
Memphis?
saying?
Well, not complimentary. And it's there has been some blowback. And from people, yes, and people that have played there, coached there.
Was he talking about the city or the organization? Or was it just a bit
city.
of both? Yeah.
Yes, it was less than, not a favorite place of his. And if you know anything about Memphis, it is a rich history.
Home of the Mad Dogs. Former CFL defunct franchise. Yeah.
Which isn't talked about enough.
No.
But yeah. So.
And then Luka Doncic as well going to get some...
Why is it that when you hear in the headline or read or
your
hear
mind goes
that player X is going to Europe for treatment, you go, oh, really? Oh, what, our healthcare can't fix you? Come on, you raise a Spockian eyebrow.
No, but
you go, what's going on?
We're not going to go into the conversation you and I had regarding that, but you can use your imagination. They do things, maybe there's a lot less red tape, maybe, hey? Or is that what it is? Regulation?
Oh, you're going to get political again, eh? Okie dokie.
You brought it up. Yeah,
yes.
Memphis,
Yes.
I don't think you'd find too many people, though, that would object to LeBron. I guess if you do live in Memphis, you'd be like, well, this street's fine.
Yes, there was the people.
But everybody outside, I think we're all kind of in agreement that.
Well, the essence of it is, why don't y'all move the team to Nashville, right? Nashville is, but if you're in Memphis, hey, listen, it would be akin to those in Oakland who have lost all of their sports teams. When people look down at that city and the fine folks there who were proud and supported, Raiders athletics or whatever, and they go, oh, really? Okay.
There are people with 2 feet and a heartbeat that love what's happening, even though the place might not be. We're not sending you down to an ultimate sports trip of a lifetime to Memphis or to Oakland or to,
Although.
Now, there's an idea. I say we start to open up those places people don't want to go.
Right.
We're going to send you and a friend to Charlotte for a Hornets game.
Tell me you wouldn't have fun.
Probably get a good ticket. And they're playing some good ball.
Yes, they are. Dem Hornets.
Hey, LT, can you give a conch for our newest provincial champions, the Canadian Athletic Club, Greg Distributors U17 AAA team?
Yes.
Defeated the Calgary Royals to win the Alberta Elite Hockey League Championship Easter Sunday. Thanks, Coach Greg. Absolutely, Greg. I got you. lot of conch requests this morning. Love to see it. If you have any, send them in. 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Let's get to a sports update here with YouTube Trev. We'll be back with your good, bad, and ugly from the weekend as well. Are you ready to treat your feet?
Sure am.
Visit Paramount Flooring in store, 10707 184th Street on the West End, or online, paramountflooring.ca. If you're listening on 95.7 Cruise FM, a quick traffic update from the always wonderful Pauline Higgins. We'll be back. Good, bad, and ugly to wrap up hour one here on the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielson.
In the NHL, 7 games on tap from last night. Kirill Kaprizov notched his 87th point of the season in a 5-4 wild win over the Red Wings, make it 21 straight point-per-game seasons for Crosby as the Penguins get past the Panthers 5-2. Porter Matone gets his first career goal in a 2-1 Flyers win. The Senators double up on the Hurricanes 6-3. Rangers all over the Capitals 8-1. And Dylan Holloway's 3 points get the Blues past the Avalanche. Holloway has 14 points in his last 10 games. Tonight, just 4 games on the schedule. The Sabres play host to the Lightning. The Kraken take on the Jets. Celebrini and Bedard go head-to-head, and Nashville is in L.A. to play the Kings. In junior, the Oil Kings live to play another day as they take the dub in double overtime, 3-2. Game 7 is today at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Elsewhere in hockey, the Islanders fire Patrick Waugh and hire Pete DeBoer. Waugh was with the Islanders for just over 2 years. Over in baseball, where the Blue Jays have lost their last 4, including all 3 games to the White Sox over the weekend, but the Blue Jays hit the field later today with the World Series rematch against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer on the bump. First pitch at 11:07 with 12 other games on the schedule. 11 games in the association from last night, including the Raptors falling to the Celtics 115-101. Raptors back in action tomorrow night hosting the Heat. The Thunder also down the Jazz 146-111. And Cooper Flagg's 45 points got the Mavs past the Lakers. Tonight, just 5 games in the NBA. And at the Men's World Championship, Canada's drought extends to 9 years after falling to Sweden 9-6 in the final. The Sports Update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. From custom homes to small renovations, Edmonton's top builders and contractors rely on Paramount Flooring. Our in-house team handles everything from selections to completion, keeping projects on track and on time. Visit our showroom 7 days a week or at paramountflooring.ca. YouTube Trev, you're up to date.
I love Jesse. He's always having fun.
Jesse was picked 4th. Yeah, we didn't think he'd be there at the time. Now we've watched him play, we know he'll be just fine. Jesse's got himself some skills, should be on McDavid's line. And Aikens would have loved his eyes, and McClellan loves that body, you just know it. And now he's holding both his arms way, way up high. No doubt about it, that was Jesse's goal. Nobody but Jesse's goal. How did he learn to finish like that? Let's start planning the parade. The Oilers finally decided to make some change. You know I feel so dirty when he starts playing cute. We complain about the Hall trade, but the point is probably moot. And Aikens would have loved his eyes,
This is Shaggy.
and
You're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk.
body, you just know it. And now he's holding both his arms way, way up high. No doubt about it, that was Jesse's goal. Nobody but Jesse's goal. How did he learn to finish like that? That's Jesse's goal. Just another Jesse's goal.
All right, Jesse's goal here, As hour one of the Nielson Show continues here on Edmonton Sports Talk, it is brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialists. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations. Plus, you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. You're an Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric YouTube Trev here with you as well. You heard Jesse's goal there. Kind of going into the vault here, and Nielsen Show songs are brought to you by Sport Ball as well. So spring, perfect time to get your kids active, trying new sports, building confidence. Soccer, baseball, basketball, football, and more. Focus on fun first, no pressure. Just play and learning. Sportball.com. Use the code EST15 and you get 15% off select classes right now. Let's get into your good, bad, and ugly from the weekend here. We'll go around the horn, share with ours. Of course, you can always play along, 780-218-9999. If you have any more contra requests as well, get him. Spruce Grove Corey's got a great text. Can't wait to see a team be up 2-1 in the first round and pull the trigger on a coaching change. Preemptive.
Firing in playoffs.
You were up 2-0. You lost a game. You're now up 2-1, and you say, "Well, we get the writing's on the wall," and the manager gets a little trigger happy. And
yes.
Ken says, "Dave, you might like the wall firing. I think the stupid virus has infected a couple of NHL GMs. If nothing else, it reaffirms this is an imitation league."
Yes.
I'm cheering for both teams to somehow drop out of the playoffs with regards to the Golden Knights and Islanders. So,
what it tells me is you can't wait around. The owners, I don't know who the New York ownership is, but we know who Bill Foley is. And by all accounts, a demanding individual.
And there might be something out there that you feel, well, if we don't act now, that
someone else
that
grabs
something could be gone. So
this means Bruce Cassidy to the Leafs, correct? Is that how these things?
Berube's just happy he can come in every day and coach hockey. Doesn't matter if you're in the playoffs, preseason.
Just likes being around the guys.
Just likes being the routine of going in.
Yes.
Yeah. You're good from the weekend, boys. Let's. Who wants to start? Dave? Tube? Do you want to?
Tube, you go. Mondays are tough for you, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they really are. Like
Mondays
you're like, who's the guy? She bangs. That guy.
Oh. Okay.
Just goes hard.
Yeah. What is that guy?
Yeah. Who did the cover? Like you just
She
go
bang.
hard.
She bang.
Yeah, Ricky Martin.
That's
Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
go hard and you pay for it. And so Monday
Yes.
you come in, you're stretching and yawning and scratching.
William Hung.
William Hung.
Ricky
Yes.
Martin too. Either or.
I am William Hung.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin by Friday. Hung on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so lots of good from this weekend.
Okay.
It was a great weekend, but the thing that, you know what, I'm very happy about this for the community of good old Tabor. They won the Craft Hockeyville. They're the winners, that town.
Yes.
So pretty cool. That was my home barn. That was the local barn growing up before I moved to Pincher.
Pincher Creek.
Pincher Creek.
Yeah.
The first 7 years of my life,
We're in Tabor.
We're in Tabor. So that was the barn that I skated at and practiced at.
Was that a fire there or was it something with the plant?
Oh,
that's right.
The Zamboni room.
That's
Something
right.
exploded.
The explosion. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was, I remember growing up, they were always in the running for that. They were almost a finalist, not the final 2, but like they got into like the, what is it? The final 12, final 10.
Sure.
And I remember cheering on Tabor when I was in like elementary, middle school, high school. So they've always kind of, the barn is pretty old. It is.
Yeah.
Like most
As
barns.
is often the case in those communities.
But so yeah, they needed it then. They absolutely need it now. So I'm happy. Tabor, let's go. They won it. Very proud.
It's been a long time coming.
Very good.
Dave, you're good from the weekend would be
Unquestionably, the Buffalo Sabres. They have qualified. They've ended a playoff drought that was 5,457 days long. Last in the playoffs when they lost to Philadelphia, April 26th of 2011. That is a town that is has been ridiculed a lot for the way the Sabres have played over the last many years. But they've had some very good players come through there. It's a proud hockey city, and it's really good to see Lindy Ruff taking that team. Jarmo Kekalainen came in right during the season. They fired Kevin Adams, and everything clicked. And that is a fun team to watch with Tage Thompson, Owen Power. I mean, on and on and on. Very, very exciting young team. How far they go, don't know. And at this point, it's all gravy.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a hell of a story.
You
I've been
expect the
waiting
way
on.
they've been playing that you would.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a little deflating if they were to somehow find themselves. But what's happened thus far is you should almost raise a banner for that.
The rink is
given
packed.
where they are.
People are
Yeah.
wearing the colors proudly.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's the feel good story of the NHL season.
And it's Buffalo, and you mirror it with the NFL team right now, and you know what's cooking in Buffalo. Well,
Yes.
both the teams now are on a good run of things.
I'm cheering for him.
Yes.
You cheer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially
That's
being out west.
everyone's.
I mean, they are one of those teams where I think you can kind of.
Well, they get
You know.
lost, and they got lost for obvious reasons, right? Because
Yeah.
they weren't good, and they had. I mean, because of where they were drafting, you'd think, when is this going to kick in? When does the winning part start here?
Kind of like Canada's Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
There's a neutrality to it that we out here don't like. You're not people like the Leafs, people like the Habs, people hate the Leafs, people hate the Habs. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
But Senators, nobody really cares, and I think the same can kind of be said about the Sabres
Yes.
until they're playing good. That'll be fun to watch. Postseason, and now, I mean, if it starts today, they're playing the Habs, which would be
Okay. Sorry, I'm still pulling.
Yes.
I know I have to set aside my Canadianness.
no, but they're see, but that's
that's
they're
right.
so polarizing of a
Yes.
yeah.
That'd be a fun series.
I'll quickly. My good from the weekend was Thursday night down at BP's Westgate. I mentioned it earlier, but a good turnout for Vera Montenegro. Not good that he's leaving, but it was a good time. We passed around a card. We all, put a nice message in there. A couple shots, courtesy of Tony and Curtis there at the bar, which
Okay.
Nice.
celebratory thing. But got to chat
Fireball.
a little bit of Sambuca.
Oh,
It was like I was back on a bus again.
That's-
July, yeah.
not to be trifled with, Sambuca.
No, but a great time nonetheless. And thanks to Tony and Curtis for having us out there and watching. Of
Love
course,
you, VR.
Oilers defeating the Blackhawks. Yeah,
Love you, VR.
you were going to come.
I know. Then I got into one a little too early.
Let it get away on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad from the weekend.
Bad, probably losing to the Golden Knights. That's an easy one, but I'm taking it. I just it
Not quite
sucks.
ugly.
Not quite ugly, but bad.
That was my bad,
ugly.
and it was as well. But it wasn't because they. I mean, are we stunned that they lost? No, because they are on par. The Knights and the Oilers. It's not like it was. Oilers got taken out by a team on the outside of the playoffs.
No, there's no
Golden
shame
Knights.
in losing to
No,
them. Yeah.
I think probably in the way it went down, that didn't feel hotly contested
Yeah.
to me.
The Rasmus Anderson Selly at the end, the goal and the Selly.
Now that led to
I
the
hate
chirps,
that.
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that led to it all. The whole scrum near the end there, but
That's what you love. That's what you want. It's a good rivalry. I mean, he's well in his now. Again, Rasmus Anderson's time in Vegas is anything but to write home about. I don't know.
No, but
But
that's
which kind of makes
you're-
the celebrating a little bit
Yeah.
more funny because he's kind
he
of.
thinks he's all that.
Yeah.
His first goal in forever. Yeah, right. That ticked me off.
But that's the fume that
Can't stand
I
him.
kind of enjoy when you got nothing to celebrate and then you start really going overboard like that. That's
nothing.
how that's how
Well,
other teams are going to get fired up with that.
I may have seen it. I'm sure, if I were to sit here, close my eyes, and think I could remember what he did. Like, what did he do? Jump the glass? Or?
Nah, what he does, it's just
He points.
He'll always score.
Yeah.
Point to the heavens?
and then
he'll-
one of the fans went like they blurted out on TV, but they went like this.
No.
Oh yeah, all the fans. He got all the fans going, but he just goes to the crowd. He just stares them down, and he does nothing. But it's like he acts like he's all that, and it's
Fantastic.
like you're nothing.
Fantastic.
You are
It's got us talking. It's a little bit
Yes.
of a little bit of venom in the game, which
He's-
you love to see.
Always
it
the
when
third
you're-
man in. He'll never drop the gloves. Always the third man in. He's a weasel.
Yeah,
I can't.
like Andrew
sorry.
Mangiapane.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm telling
Hey.
you. They're like brothers. They're
Trevor
the
likes
worst.
honest players.
Oh, Trev
Man-
likes.
Mange.
Well,
Yeah, they're the
got
worst.
Man from Pincher Creek.
Throw a pair.
Yeah.
Drop the gloves already.
Okay.
Drop the gloves.
I wish Frederick. I just want him to pummel him the next game anyway.
You're bad from the weekend.
Well, it was the same. It was the Oilers.
Oh, just whatever. Roll back the
Roll
tape.
back, yeah.
Yeah, 5-1 your final. Howden Hart, Eichel, the 3 stars from that one. Evan Bouchard, the lone goal, is 21st of the season from Roslovic and Savoy. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know. A few of those Golden Knights goals are a little bit of puck luck, I want to say. There was a couple of them that were a little fortuitous
There always
bounces.
are. I mean,
no, I know. It's a
in the
slippery
course
game.
of a game,
but
it's- yeah.
no. Whatever. You pack that one in, you move along. They were playing some good hockey on to Utah. That's just it.
Tusks up. Or what are they? Tusks up? Tusks up?
Yep.
Does that game and that result, though, concern you from an Oilers perspective that the Golden Knights might not be the pushover that we've seen over the past couple weeks? Certainly they weren't on paper, but how they were playing, you were kind of rubbing your hands together for an opening round matchup. And maybe now it'll be a little tougher.
Again, do not disregard. And does Tortorella coach beyond whatever the Knights are going to do in the playoffs? I have no idea what their vision is. But for right now, I used this term last week. He is the defibrillator. He is the paddles on the chest. And the patient's back to life.
Yeah. Will it survive by the time they make it to the hospital?
Exactly.
Maybe is the other. Yeah, I don't know. Did I do my bad from the weekend? I didn't.
No, you
I
didn't.
I apologize
about it. I'm
apologize.
watching two women with headsets on explaining.
You're still watching the Artemis?
I've got picture within picture, and they are talking, and I'd like to hear what they're saying, but you keep wanting me to get involved in the play here.
Artemis.
My bad is the Oilers. From
No way. It's your bad.
Explain.
What is your
Well, they
bad?
Come
lost 5-1. It was
on.
a bad result there, home
Yeah.
ice and everything. And it was a funny game too. Wasn't somebody was giving birth or
Someone
DVD
was
had
giving
it?
birth.
DVD
Yeah.
had it.
A baby was born. And DVD was all over
DVD
it.
was all over it. I could
Tell the people
4
who
minutes
might be
into the
watching
third,
and
baby
subbing
was
to
born.
us. Explain, Eric or Derek, whatever, what happened there.
Okay,
What
well,
happened?
Well, DVD.
Yes, reporting from the scene.
His actual last tweet from DVD, April 4th. Mm-hmm. And this was 11:49 p.m. So
presumably he had left the rink, but he's still checking his
on
phone.
the way to Kelly's.
Can confirm.
Just been told by security a baby was not born at Rogers Place tonight. A woman went into labor and she was taken to the hospital. That's pretty much the extent of it.
Damn.
That's it. So there wasn't,
No, it wasn't.
So it didn't end up happening.
No, and then a high event game. I mean, that one guy took the puck right off the face, and
Yes.
Louis loved it. Louis was this guy's tough. Like
He was
and he's-
fist pumping.
he's
Let's
fist
go.
pumping.
On
Yeah,
his way up,
baby.
just bloodied up.
Yeah,
That's how you do
he was
it.
the Shoresy guy, right? He had that look,
looks-
you know.
yeah, he looked
sure.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Shoresy,
yeah.
bro.
Tapered fade.
And he wasn't watching the play.
Guess
Is
not.
that fair?
That's
Ah,
what you get.
that's okay. But
Hey,
he's tough.
ladies.
Yeah, let's go.
Heads up.
Yeah, smack. You ever seen someone get hit at a puck or by a puck at an NHL game? It's not fun.
WHL game.
No, it's I
Not
can't
good.
imagine.
Not good.
Well, Lazar's reaction. Who's it? Lazar and who's the other Golden Knight there?
Yeah.
They were both.
Oh. Yeah, the heebie-jeebies.
They both kind of got.
They
a little,
didn't like it.
So that's my bad. Ugly from the weekend.
Ugly. I mean, it's tough not to say the Blue Jays.
That's where you're going to for the trip of your lifetime.
Yeah, it is. And I cannot
That's
wait
where
for
I'm
that.
going
And
with my ugly, too.
Everything will be fun. Wow. We're so similar.
Yeah, No.
Just let him.
Yeah.
Let 'em go?
Well, obviously it's fine. They're all good. It's lots of games left, but you lose your last 4. You lose to
To the opposition.
You look
Rockies
at
and White Sox aren't
you
exactly.
look at who you lose to. I know what it was like 4 or 5 games in. Matty was just saying the differential for home runs, like the White Sox, they were in the negative already, like 50 runs. Like
Yes.
it was crazy, like 5 games in. So Matty's like, oh well, but it's okay. The Blue Jays, they'll get those bats warm against the Sox. That did not happen. So it was a tough look. Not only that, Kirk, the 10-day IL, Barger left yesterday's game. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, but they'll be okay.
The very real
Matty-
possibility
Matty,
of going
eternal optimist.
9-0
Well, they could
against those opponents.
You could have
to start
got
the season.
Yeah, you could have went 0-9. But yeah, it was a cupcake start. I do like Matty being the Blue Jays optimist, though. He's
Little sucks, man. Oh, just tough. Anyway, it was ugly for the Blue Jays.
That's it.
Well said.
Yeah, just repeat that.
I touch them all.
Yeah, you did touch them all.
this is a
That's it.
very non-debatable good, bad, and ugly.
Well,
this
I
morning.
don't know what else is, you're going to come up with. The Don Staley, Gino Auriemma sideline in the semi. You saw that confrontation?
Illinois losing out to UConn
Yes.
by not being able to hit a 3 late.
Right.
That could have been ugly.
That could have been ugly as well.
Arsenal bowing out of the FA Cup to Southampton.
What?
Soccer, Dave.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just using the term bowing out tells me everything.
So your ugly is the Jays. My ugly is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays weekend that it was. Fair? I don't think there's not much else to echo your statements.
That echoed
Trev's
his.
statements.
It's an echo chamber this morning.
We are living in an echo chamber, and the Jays right now, ugly. Now, Dodgers tonight. Scherzer back on the bump.
Sure.
How many did it take from LA in this 3-game series? Today, tomorrow night, and Wednesday afternoon. You got a matinee in there as well.
I go 1 and
2
2.
of 3, 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I'm thinking 1 and 2 as well. What about you?
In the spirit of this segment, I will go 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Look at us, unanimous.
That's funny.
God,
What are they? Great radio, eh?
yeah.
We all agree.
Yeah. 780-218-9999 if you got a good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Jason says, ugly Arizona Wildcats with worst game of year Final Four. Yeah, Michigan hammered them.
They did.
UCLA taking the women's. Eh?
Yes, I
Go
said.
Bruins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
So that-
Bruins.
that could be a good-
Unblemished bracket for yours truly.
Both. You do the
Both
female and the
sides.
male.
Yes, I do.
You hit it out of the park.
Yes.
VR Greg says woman gave birth and the Oilers laid an egg. Easter, y'all.
Yep.
Again, no birth given. Like labor and she went to the hospital. Atif, good morning from beautiful Canmore, Alberta. With coaches getting fired at the end of this season, do you see a trend where coaches get fired at the end of seasons in the future?
Depends if it works, Atif. If it works for these teams, yep. Everyone's going to continue to do
So
it.
I'm just going to read that again.
Well,
with coaches getting fired at the end of this season,
Yes.
do you now see a trend where coaches get fired at the end seasons in the future?
That will depend on the coaches that are available at the time when these go down. I mean, this is a very strange year when you've got Peter DeBoer flying, staying in the air, just hovering over North America. John Tortorella in the ESPN studio. Who else is out there? Is that sort of loose?
Well, you could, in
Cassidy.
terms of,
I mean,
Cassidy's the
it's-
one, but you could also, you could pull one of those, didn't see this guy getting the job or something like that. An assistant or I don't know. I think you kind of poach.
I
him,
don't
but Cassidy's the
know.
one.
Again, the New York Islanders are a team that I haven't I can pay attention to them. And with Matthew Schaefer, why wouldn't you pay attention to them? I don't know where they expected to be. Right? If you're not around the team and you're not in on it every day, I don't know where they thought they would be at this point in their evolution.
Yeah, and obviously, kind of in a wild card spot or a playoff spot, but now crashing out of it late.
Yes.
Is something that they didn't.
If you're
foresee or
assessing your
accept.
team and they are going and they are, yes, there are winners and losers, no kidding, but are you losing passively? Are you losing? Does it look like whatever structure you had when you were playing well has vanished?
That's what
If
I wonder.
that's the case,
well,
okay, do we look amongst ourselves? We can't move any players here other than up and down and sort of, organizational internal moves. What do we got left to change our fortunes?
and is it always coaching working with management getting coaching what it desires or not? Is it just management going out and doing whatever management feels is good and saying to the coach, hey, here you go, use it and succeed with it? Or are we from a management point of view, going out, getting the groceries that the coach needs to cook a great meal?
Right. Is he coaching a team that doesn't fit the coach I'm talking about here? Is he coaching a team that doesn't fit his, personal vision, if that's the case?
Because then it's not the coach. Then you got to look at the other one, but he's making the shots. So it's.
But Patrick Waugh was there almost 3 seasons, right? Maybe he is a slightly different, bilingual version of Torts. Because he's had great success in that one season that he was in Colorado, and then he tends to blow through places. He's only been he has not been anywhere else other than Denver, Colorado, and the Islanders, right?
Yeah.
Outside of what he's done in junior, and he's had great success there.
He did get that revenge game against the Dallas Stars. Remember that? We all circled that
yeah.
on our calendars. They won 2-1. It was at the end of March, Thursday, March 26th.
I was going to say, that had to...
What were we doing? It must have passed us by.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Because who was it, Rantanen that he wanted to go after?
It was Rantanen that he was getting.
And I don't know,
with.
was Rantanen even in the lineup that night?
No.
Yeah, so the revenge never happened.
It
Not
never
the revenge
happened.
on the scoreboard, but
Which
earlier
is
in
where
the
you
year,
want it.
Earlier in the year, didn't he threaten to kill him?
Oh, yeah, man. He was...
Oh,
yeah.
And so we're all
I
like,
missed that.
we were all like
missed
the
that
next
there was
time
a
they
death
play.
threat.
Yeah,
revenge
it
tour.
was
That doesn't
wild
happen
stuff.
nearly enough in the NHL.
Well, Waugh got the last laugh there,
Okay.
but ultimately out of a job. So, we'll get Darren Dreger's thoughts on that. Lots to get to with Dreger, of course.
Now
the
he's
coaching.
available. Wah.
Waujet.
Keep your eyes.
Patrick Waugh here.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Would that be?
That'd be tremendous.
Yeah, we had the Tortorella, DeBoer, but Waugh, that would be...
I can feel an AI song for the Nielson Show coming on.
Oh, it would be Dusty's dream, too. That would be for him coaching in the market. Be good.
And Dusty knowing his, his French and
Can you
all of
sign
that.
this poster, please?
Yes.
What did you think of the power play? Please sign the poster. Darren Dreger coming up in a matter of minutes. Hour one of the Nielsen Show, as always, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialists. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Still looking for a Royal Pizza text of the day. Troll says, I'm pretty sure that happens every year, Atif. With coaches getting fired near the end. Usually, you don't see too many get fired at the start of the season. Like, when you, like, we're going to play our first game of the year, and then it's like, you're fired.
No.
It's more so at the end when they see the work that's been done or hasn't been done, and then you come
God,
to a
how many? I'm
conclusion.
trying to. Someone out there will know. The Oilers fired George Burnett. Was it like 20 games in?
Okay, yeah.
I think I'd have to. Someone will fact check me. That
probably
was
up there
years and years ago.
One of the earliest, Here.
Well, yeah,
That's a good-
and there was Bill LaForge out with the Canucks.
American Thanksgiving, right? That's your flagpole.
That's usually the.
That'd be about 20, right?
You've seen enough at that point. Probably on ice results lacking and internal dissension. Fair.
You start to see if there's already been a players only meeting or whatever, like the doors have been closed or whatever.
Yes.
Let's see what's happening in the nasty chat here. Dash chimes in.
In the park?
Smash that the same one.
Yeah. Smash
that thumbs up button for these guys, and I think he's meaning us, Dave. So yes, hit the thumbs up, give us a like. Costera says, I'd love to see Speck and Waugh go at it. No, Patrick Waugh and Oilers media, I mean, the possibilities are endless.
What do we say? I'm here for it?
I am here for it, yeah. I know McDiesel 780. I think he's taking an anti-Jays approach. Is that a new thing for this season? But he's kind of tap dancing with the Rockies and White Sox wins there. Jay's got some hits, but none with runners in scoring positions. So I don't know. I mean, again, Dave, your worry-o-meter or concern-o-meter for the Jays right now, is it even registering?
No, I mean, injuries would be, but those are going to happen.
It's a reason, not an excuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Factor it in, but don't use it as a crutch.
7:01, we'll take a quick break. Sports update here for Chelsea LaBelle and Expedia Cruises. Now, not too much news on the trip. I assume it's all fully booked, all fully sold out, but we'll give you the number again, and it is for the best weekend of Trevor's life. YouTube Trev here. The trip is just going to pull out the flyway. Jays White Sox down in Toronto. Pair of games July 17th and 19th. If you still want into this, and maybe Chelsea can do her best to secure some more rooms leading up, 780-970-4834 is the number to text or call July 17th to 19. Jays and White Sox. A quick sports update with Trev and a quick traffic update on 95.7 Cruise FM with Pauline Higgins. The Nielsen Show will return for hour 2 coming up next. It is brought to you by Weiss Johnson, Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen, and Lieutenant Eric.
massive 7-game slate in the NHL last night. Sidney Crosby has done it again with the Pens' 5-2 win over Florida. Sid has officially secured his 21st straight point-per-game season. Dylan Holloway tallied 3 points to lead the Blues past the Avs 3-2. He now has 14 points in his last 10 games. The Wild edged the Wings 5-4 behind Kirill Kaprizov's 87th point, while Porter Martone notched his first career NHL goal in a 2-1 Flyers win over the Bruins. Ottawa doubled up the Canes 6-3. The Rangers dismantled the Caps 8-1. And the Habs saw their win streak vanish in a 3-0 shutout loss to the Devils. Elsewhere, the Islanders have pulled the trigger on a coaching change, firing Patrick Waugh and hiring Pete DeBoer. Waugh's tenure ends just over 2 years on the island. Just 4 games tonight, but a massive head-to-head between Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard highlights the schedule. Plus, the Nashville Predators visit the Kings at 8:30. The Sabres play host to the Lightning, and the Kraken take on the Jets. On the diamond, it was a weekend to forget for the Blue Jays, dropping 4 straight, including a sweep at the hands of the White Sox. They look to wash the taste out of their mouth today with a World Series rematch against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer takes the bump for the Jays. First pitch is an early one at 11:07. In the association, a busy 11-game Sunday saw the Raptors fall 115-101 to the Celtics. They'll look to bounce back tomorrow night against Miami. Elsewhere, the rookie sensation Cooper Flagg, he went nuclear, dropping 45 points to lead the Mavs past the Lakers. Tonight, just 5 games in the NBA. Finally, over at the World Men's Curling Championship, Canada's gold medal drought extends to 9 years. Matt Dunstone's rink fell 9-6 to Sweden in the final. The Sports Update is brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Join YouTube Trev for the best trip of his life. A weekend of Blue Jays baseball in Toronto, July 17th to 19th, 2026. Contact Chelsea LaBelle at Expedia Cruises in Northeast Edmonton to join Trev in Toronto. Call or text 780-970-4834. I'm YouTube Trev, and you're up to date.
Ever since he was a young boy, he hasn't been very tall. From Zona up to Edmonton, he's the oil fireball. Yeah, we ain't seen nothing like him, don't need no Taylor Hall. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He flies around the ice rink with terror in his eyes, hitting all the D-men, all the bigger guys. He plays with inspiration, bounces up when he falls. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He's a PK wizard, he clears the zone so quick. A PK wizard's got such an active stick. How do you think he does it? I don't know what makes him so good. Ain't got no detractors, cause he works hard and tries. Even Gregor likes him, stick is the right size. Always makes the right play, he's not afraid to brawl. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. Certain man with chops upon his face.
He is big and strong and finally found his place.
Most players look at him with terror.
The hard, sorry, no fade.
Wow.
When we're going to fader there. 7:06, and hour 2 of the Nielson Show is live. Dave Jamieson once again in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, and YouTube Trev with you here as well. The Nielson Show brought to you by Weiss Johnson. Check him out today. AC. heat pump, all that stuff, furnace, Weiss-Johnson.com. Book an estimate today. We are coming live as well from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. That's good for the Italian Center still to come, and Play Alberta Early Bird. We'll take a look at Play Alberta, the title sponsor of EST, and everything going on up there. Of course, it is Masters Week, so start thinking about maybe a few sprinkles as we head down to Augusta later on this week. Our first guest of the day, though, is TSN's Darren Dreger, and he is our GS Construction Hockey Insider. For more than 5 decades, GS Construction has been proud to serve our communities. Once again, they are hiring now, looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. Visit gsconstruction.ca. Click on careers to find out more. And he does join us on our Firehouse Subs hotline, 15 Firehouse Subs locations across Edmonton and the greater area. Darren, another Monday appearance from you, and yet another coaching change to discuss the NHL. Waugh out, DeBoer Jet finally lands as the Islanders bring him in to run the bench here, heading down the stretch. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, shocking for starters. And look, before we dive too deep into that, please remind me as this segment unfolds, I've got to be more careful. Like the stuff last Monday on Ryan Rishaug got me into big trouble. I mean, when I disclosed that he was living in his mom's basement.
Yes.
Apparently that didn't go over well. So apologies to Ryan Tarandine and the entire Rishaug family. And I will keep it between the lines now moving forward. We're going to have fun. We're going to continue to pick at Ryan occasionally,
but within reason. Wow.
Yeah, within reason. Yeah,
I always enjoy your anecdotes but you just gave us the headline, no details. When he did join us Wednesday, we went and he had a fun. I thought he had a fun time with it. He had his mom on, and we were kind of
clearly, as always the case with insiders, there's more to the story.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you know what? We'll just lesson learned. I'll move forward. We'll just
don't change too much, though.
No. There'll always be something. I mean, he's just so easy and target. No. So back to the stuff that matters. Look, I mean, who saw this coming? I feel like if you want to rewind a little bit and go back to Vegas making the call on Bruce Cassidy, that for me was less shocking. It was because, Vegas had kind of been stumbling and bumbling and kind of lacking their normal identity. I did not see John Tortorella going into Vegas, don't get me wrong, but just the idea of the coaching change in Vegas didn't seem as surprising to me as this one does. But I give a ton of credit again to the organizations, in this case, particularly the managers, Kelly McCrimmon and Matthew Darche, for recognizing that, look, there's too much at stake here. We're missing something. There's juice in our game that is available, but we're not tapping into period by period. So what can we do to change that? And when you get to that place where you go, well, it's the coach, I can make that change. And you go out of your way to not only make that call, but then to bring in, a decorated coach in Pete DeBoer. That tells me that Matthew Darche and New York Islanders have been thinking about this for a while, and obviously had come to the conclusion that, okay, we're making a coaching change in the offseason. Why does the offseason have to be at the end of this regular season? They're right on the cut line in terms of a playoff spot in the East. I know there's 3-4 games remaining, but they still have a little bit of real estate left. So if this is a shot in the arm and there's a coach bump that gets the Islanders into the playoff mix, well, then it's a decision that was timely for sure.
Patrick Waugh, would it be unfair of me to say that he's kind of a churn and burn coach? He can have great results and has, and we've seen that, but sustaining that has been a challenge for him.
At the NHL level, no question, Dave. Yeah. It really has been. I've watched him coach firsthand on a couple of fronts. We measure based on success or lack thereof at the NHL level. I watched him coach major junior hockey. And, when they won the Memorial Cup, I was in the press box watching, and it was like he was hoisting the Stanley Cup of the great days of the Colorado Avalanche over his head. He was so in it. And everything that led to that championship, fully invested. I mean, he turned purple on that bench, not just screaming at his own troops, but just so deeply involved with how the game was unfolding. And we saw glimpses of that at the NHL level. And I'm not suggesting that there needed to be more buy-in or investment from Patrick Waugh. Let's not misinterpret what I'm saying. It's just he's an all-in guy. But that's the DNA. That's the character of Patrick Waugh. Does he run hot? Sure, he runs hot. And maybe it got to that point where the Islanders, where the messaging wasn't getting through anymore, and in part because of that. This guy absolutely oozes hockey knowledge. He does. And I remember having conversations years ago with Adam Foote, and Foote talking about how instrumental Patrick was in dissecting power plays and having team meetings back in the glory days of the Avalanche, where he wasn't just a Hall of Fame goaltender, right? He was a guy that everybody went to, whether it was, dissecting offense, the structure, the defense, goaltending, obviously, but special teams, all of it. So nobody was surprised that he would get into the world of coaching. I guess I'm a bit surprised that it ends this way again for Patrick.
TSN's Darren Dreger joining us, our GS Construction Hockey Insider on the Firehouse Subs hotline. We talked to you last Monday. It was the Tortorella theme. He's had a week 3 in a row for the Golden Knights. We saw that in town here Saturday night. Your thoughts on the week it's been so far? Certainly seems like more than a new coach bump, I guess.
Yeah. And then should we be surprised when you look at the roster of the Vegas Golden Knights? For me, the head of the snake is always Mark Stone. And, when you've got that layer of leadership, you don't have to go in there and rebuild everything. You don't have time to do that if you're John Tortorella. You just find a way to push the necessary buttons, but in a positive way, and you coach up in that process. And you lean on your veterans. Like, I thought it was outstanding. Torts has a smile on his face, but he's still vintage John Tortorella. Darren Millard asked him late last week, all right, you had a leadership meeting, center ice. Can you share what was talked about, what was discussed with your leaders? And Torts just, with a smile, goes, no. I'm just not going to tell you because, now if that's midseason John Tortorella, no, it's none of your business. I mean, that's the follow-up to what you get there. But again, with a small window here, and it's important to recognize, Tortorella has opportunity here. Guys like this are wired to coach. Rick Bowness, we shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Columbus is stumbled of late. But again, the body of the work speaks for itself. Those guys can be influential in a real short period of time because they're just in it to win, to make a difference. They're not worrying about what their next contract looks like. Bonus is happy to go back into retirement. Torts wants to coach again, but he knows that his deal with Vegas is the balance of this season. Peter Laviolette, there's another name. Like, this guy wants to coach again because they've got a wealth of information and experience, and it's in their blood. It's in their blood. So when I see the small bump with guys like Torts and a bigger picture when you look at the work that Bonus has done and what Peter Laviolette might do, I can understand why these managers and ownership groups look at these guys and go, why not? There's no long-term investment needed here, but we need something. And sometimes change for the sake of change, when you bring that experience in, can make a difference the way it is in Vegas.
The Oilers navigated rather nicely without Leon Draisaitl, but not having Zach Hyman, that's another layer to that. And yes, you can live by next man up, but those are two tough holes. That's a lot of goals absent from the lineup. And Knobloch said, though, if it were a playoff game, he'd go, but he's nicked up, as many are this time of year.
Load management is what it is. Maybe beyond that. I mean, you're not just simply sitting Zach Hyman. He's such a fierce competitor that, yeah, of course, if it's a playoff game, he's playing. But I think that's in comparison to the history of Zach Hyman, what he just wasn't able to play through as early as last year. So you try and manage through this as best you can. But when you take two elements like that, it's not just about the offense and lack thereof provided by Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. It's the identity of how you need to play based on the leadership of how those two guys play. With Zach Hyman in your lineup, you're a completely different team. Offensively, defensively, all of it, right? There's just a different tone when he's healthy enough to play the game that he can play. So we're at that place where teams are going to do this. In this case, they have to do it with Hyman just to rest him up and give him as much real estate as they can to get him as close to healthy. The interesting backstory on Leon, and it's not like the Oilers have withheld any information, but I think that it could have been and was feared to be a lot worse initially. You know, when he first went down with injury, automatically the belief was he's done for the year. Forget playoffs, it's over. And then they had secondary opinion and they found out, okay, well, it's great. You know, surgery isn't required. But even at that point, the idea that Leon would be available to start round one was still considered a long shot at best. So it does look like he's tracking towards starting, you know, game one of the playoffs, but he may not quite be ready. You know, it's expected he'll be ready for early in the first round, middle of the first round at worst. And yes, of course, they're still targeting the opening of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But, you know, he needs to get back on the ice and test how the rehabilitation feels at that point. But then you wonder, okay, well, how effective can he be? And I'm reminded of the high ankle sprain where every time he went down, it looked like he was going to need 4 men to lift him back up onto his skates. I mean, he's just such, again, a fierce competitor that he's always going to be an impact as long as he can lace him up. So, yeah, it doesn't look great right now, but as long as those two guys are good enough to go for the playoffs, I still like the Oilers' chances.
Yeah, and fans got to like it too. Certainly a better situation than what's going on in Leafland as of late in last week. Trey living out. Your thoughts on everything surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs as it stands, as they are one of the 3 teams in the East with an E next to their name. Yeah, well, look, I mean, we could talk in this segment for the next 45 minutes about the Toronto Maple Leafs and what's going on, and nobody wants to do that. There are more questions than answers as this process moves forward for me, right? And my job is to get answers to the questions. So the question I'm starting this week with is this. Brad Treliving had a real good feel that he was going to be fired, right? Certainly at the end of the year. And I think that, you know, he expedited the process. When he got the true sense that it was over, and that was last Monday, you know, he met with Keith Pelley, and I think that they just agreed that, okay, well, let's just cut bait and get this done. And that made sense, as Pelley talked about last Tuesday, because it bought them more time. But fellas, he also, Keith Pelley, that has acknowledged that he and ownership had made this determination a couple, 3 weeks prior. Well, if you make that determination and you feel like it's important to have a search firm head up the process, wouldn't you get going with that search firm at that point? Yeah, 3 weeks.
And they haven't done that.
Yeah.
They haven't done that. And so the expectation this week is that they will have a search firm hired by the end of the week. All right, well, then you pump in your AI. Here's the criteria of the head of hockey operations that we want. And the search firm takes that away and spits out 10 names. And then you get into the process of interviewing all of these potential candidates, right? The timing of all of this just does not make sense. Doesn't make sense. And, you know, names are being elevated. You know, on Saturday night, you know, we heard of Sonny Mehta. I mean, his name has been out there for a bit. Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, I'm sure that he is a highly qualified individual in his field of work, which primarily is data centric and analytics, right? It's a tall ask to have someone with limited or zero hockey management experience come in and head hockey operations for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a tough one. You know, Brad Treliving, with all the years of experience that he had, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it with Brendan Shanahan as his president of hockey operations. But the new general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs is going to be able to do this without any hockey management experience. I mean, you can flank people. I understand that. And that's probably what's going to happen. It just, everything about this process, as I'll finish where I started on this, just conjures up more questions. So that's
well, and that
what
individual would be
week.
Inheriting an organization right now with, I mean, you tell me, not a lot to kind of work from or with, I guess, moving forward, or to kind of build something new.
Yeah, well, and the first challenge would be for that individual to go to Austin Matthews and say, all right, here's my plan. Here's our plan. This is what we're going to do, try and do. Are you in? And if Matthews goes, nah, like, I mean, I've got 2 years, so I'll give you everything I've got, but the chances of me re-signing, extending aren't great. Okay, then what do you do? You know, it's one tall challenge after another.
The team not very far from Toronto is Buffalo. And the story that they've crafted this year has been remarkable. And they have been a team in waiting for so many years, Darren. Now it's all kicked in. And it's timed almost exactly to the Kekalainen hiring, which I can't recall when a GM has come in mid-season and had that effect, whether it's real, you know, whether he moved a lot of levers or not, something happened.
Yeah. Don't have an answer that makes any sense for that, Dave.
Fair?
Well, look, I mean, you know, Kevin Adams was kicked in the shins and ultimately lost his job. Now, you know, look, there have been a lot of mistakes made by Adams when he was general manager that left the Sabres in peril for year after year after year, right? But if you're going to do that fairly with Kevin Adams, then you also have to fairly look at the makeup of this team that is potentially going to win the Eastern Conference. And the makeup of this team was built by Kevin Adams. So general manager Jarmo Kekalainen doesn't come in and flip that switch. I mean, I think ultimately what happened was, you know, the players went, holy smokes, here we are again. You know, when are we going to start taking accountability for what we can each do individually to make this team better by the sum of our parts? And honestly, I think that's what it boils down to. Now, Jarmo made some interesting moves. I mean, he hasn't put his stamp on this team. He hasn't had to do that, but he brought in some depth and some bite, you know, on their blue line. And those pieces have ultimately made a difference. But I think it's the leadership core of the Buffalo Sabres, the players who have accepted responsibility, and they just said, guys, if we're going down, let's go down swinging. You know, everybody play the job that they're paid to do, and let's see what happens. And then all of a sudden, Believe started to develop and build, and they're at where they're at. So this is more a story of execution, coaching, and the players doing what they're supposed to do.
Darren, you enjoy the week. A lot more will be crystallized in terms of the East and West, wild card hunts and positioning there. I want to leave with one last text here. Lacombe Drew, don't be a coward, Dreger. The EST listeners have got your back when it comes to dishing on our pal Ryan Rashog. So, this is always a safe place. Don't worry.
Hey, it's more about his beautiful wife, Randine. Who is literally the backbone of the Rain Dregs podcast and Got Your Back and all. I would drive the bus over Ryan, throw it in reverse, and drive over him 17 different ways. No problem with that. This is just me recognizing that Randine doesn't need my grief.
Yeah, you know where the bread's buttered.
You're a good team guy, Darren. Just for saying that.
Thanks for your time, Darren. Awesome. Enjoy the week.
Have a great week, guys.
Darren Dreger, 17 times.
Very precise number, right?
He really had that.
He's thought
ready
about
to
it.
go. Yeah, he's
16 won't do it.
No.
17 should be the knockout punch.
Number. Darren Dreger, your GS Construction hockey insider this morning. Once again, they're hiring. If you're looking, they're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. GSConstruction.ca is where you can go. You click on careers to find out more. And he was joining us on the Firehouse Subs hotline. As always, if you're looking for a nice Monday snack, go out to Firehouse. 15 locations in and around the Edmonton area. I know the Leafs talk is always something. 45 minutes, no thanks, Bob Loblaw. And Lloyd says, you really kind of, I noticed when he said the AI you kind of got a little excited there, Leo.
I went, wow.
4 weeks to type it in, and then just kind of, we want to make sure
Spit
that
it out.
Yeah, we got to wait. They do the maybe the Leafs can build their own data center, like those ones that use a lot of water, that type of thing.
I've heard of those.
MLSE builds their own, somewhere out in rural Northern Ontario.
Keith Kelly in a white coat, just striding up and down the aisles.
How
are you guys doing today?
You can get the tour.
Oh.
Overseeing. And a data center just for this managerial search.
Did I hear that correctly? They didn't have a search firm hired or in place. Now they do. That'll take, let's just say, conservatively, 10 days.
Yeah. It was a 3 to 5 week window here, basically, from when they acknowledged what decision they were going to make.
This is why those teams hired those coaches in the way they did this late. Because who wants to give the Leafs more time to make a bad decision? Probably. But you grab DeBoer.
Get out there and get it.
So that Keith Pelly can't.
End of story.
End of story.
Pelly
Next.
Yes. Next. Any other questions? Play Alberta Early Bird right now. They are the title sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk. You can hit them up, playalberta.ca, or why don't you make it easy for yourself? If you do have a smartphone, download the app. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app. Hundreds of player props on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun. You're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Dave, just looking, if you want to start early here, CFL Grey Cup odds, plus 300 for the Alouettes.
Are they just in?
Well, they're up here, and they're always around. Alouettes plus 300, Lions plus 400, Riders plus 6.
Those odds are up quicker than the league getting a website or an app? Or can't go there yet? Okay, fair enough.
What do you think? Well, they got the the stats and all that needs to happen, but the app, yeah.
Yes.
I'm really anxious to see how the rollout of the season-long fantasy will be.
When you say anxious or nervous, is that
a little
nervous
both. The anxiety,
word?
it's like just a neutral anxiety, but it could go either way at this point.
Yes.
The Elks plus 1,800 if you want to do a little sprinkle on that. Once again, up at Play Alberta. Also, Jays back home, back in action, and back against the LA Dodgers tonight. Let's just see on the money line. You can get the Jays plus 124. They do have Scherzer on the bump tonight. That is something. Over under 9 runs in that one. And the Dodgers minus 1.5 on the spread. So if you want to do a little anything with the Jays and Dodgers tonight, Play Alberta is where you're going to go. Once again, Scherzer will be the starting pitcher for Toronto. Dodgers minus 145. Jays plus 124 on the money line. Hit up Play Alberta today and make your bet count. But do it responsibly.
Always.
Win betting.
Always. Know your limit.
Know your limit.
Stay
and
within it.
Stay within it. Hour 2 is for GameSense when gambling. Set a budget before you play. Stay informed. Visit GameSenseAB.ca to learn how. Remember, if you gamble, use your GameSense. We're going to break here with a quick sports update with YouTube Trev. If you're listening on 95.7 Cruise FM, a quick traffic update from Pauline Higgins. We'll be back with a little that's good for the Italian Center Shop. A couple places I want to go with this. Okay. Coming up next, Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, and Trev here with the sports update. And it's for the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. Or he's already locked in 9 bets for tonight's baseball game between the Jays and Dodgers over at Play Alberta. Here's the update.
NHL, 7 games on tap from last night. Kirill Kaprizov notched his 87th point of the season in a 5-4 wild win over the Red Wings. Make it 21 straight point-per-game seasons for Crosby as the Penguins get past the Panthers 5-2. Porter Martone gets his first career goal in a 2-1 Flyers win. The Senators double up on the Hurricanes 6-3. The Canadiens' win streak is snapped, getting shut out 3-0 to the Devils. The Rangers all over the Capitals 8-1, and Dylan Holloway's 3 points got the Blues past the Avalanche 3-2. Tonight, just 4 games on the schedule. The Sabres play host to the Lightning. The Kraken take on the Jets. Celebrini and Bedard go head-to-head, and Nashville is in LA to play the Kings. In Junior, the Oil Kings live to play another day as they take the dub in double overtime 3-2. Game 7 is today at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Elsewhere in hockey, the Islanders fire Patrick Waugh and hire Pete DeBoer. Waugh was with the Islanders for just over 2 years. Over in baseball, where the Blue Jays have lost their last 4, including all 3 games to the White Sox over the weekend. The Jays hit the field later today with a World Series rematch against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer on the bump. First pitch at 11:07. with 12 other games on the schedule. 11 games in the association from last night, including the Raptors falling to the Celtics 115-101. Raptors back in action tomorrow night hosting the Heat. The Thunder also down the Jazz 146-111. And Cooper Flagg's 45 points got the Mavs past the Lakers. Tonight, just 5 games in the NBA. And at the Men's World Championship, Canada's drought extends to 9 years after falling to Sweden 9-6 in the final. Sports Update is brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Oake. Your dealer for life.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
We built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy eagles. Built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy eagles.
Everybody knows him. Best mullet in the league. Probably know that he never gets fatigued. Face first in the corner, scoring every night. So many young kids, Smitty's in the spotlight. He may not be the captain, but Smitty sure plays a role. So just remember, we built this Smitty. This Smitty on greasy gold. We built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. Built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. Smitty's always playing the biggest games, but he'll never make it to the Hall of Fame. He may use his elbows or just use his fists. It's why we gave him a spot on our beauty list. He may not be the captain, but Smitty sure plays a role. Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. We built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. Built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. Built this Smitty. We built this Smitty on greasy gold. Built this Smitty. Smitty on greasy gold.
More of a nice fade now, hey? Isn't that's a good...
That's how you do it, Eric.
We built this Smitty. Nielson Show original songs brought to you by Sportball. The deal is on right now. Spring just around the corner.
Sure is.
Well, we're already into the season, so I think we can do this. Sportball.com right now if you want to get your kids involved. Soccer, baseball, basketball, football, and more. Fun first focus. Sportball.com. Use the code EST15 for 15% off select classes. So a pretty good deal. Take advantage of that. EST15, 15% off select classes. Sportball.com. Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen, who's scheduled to be back Wednesday. So today and then Tuesday.
Tomorrow, yes, that would follow.
Would be then Wednesday. So
logically, yep.
I think status right now, day to day.
But aren't we all?
Well, yes. On
really,
it's a good way to live life. Be in the present, be in the moment. Yep.
Don't want to commit. Look, if it were a playoff game, Dusty would have played today.
Yeah. Load management.
Exactly.
We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio as well. Don't forget that 3-piece bone-in chicken right now for just $8. Hell of a deal. PopeyesChicken.ca for more info. Nielson Show, as always, brought to you by Weiss Johnson. Check them out today, weiss-johnson.com. And Paris Jewelers inbox, your text always welcome at 780-218-9999. Rip City Stepways in. Can't believe the Portland Trailblazers are guaranteed to host at least one play-in game at the Rose Garden. These are the days I've dreamed about since several days ago. I think the Raptors, too, they're in a play-in spot. They're playing themselves into a play-in spot for the playoffs.
Go to the Rose
play-in
Garden
game. Oh, the Rose Garden.
That's get Tom Dundon, right, who owns the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, he's still in the mix.
He bought the Trailblazers.
Yeah. They've
just recently.
I like Rip City Step have a soft spot for the Trailblazers. I'm not an NBA hardo, but I will certainly pay attention to them as they sit comfortably in ninth.
There is a new documentary. I think it has dropped. Don't ask me what service it's on. Maybe Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called the Portland Jailblazers.
Yeah.
For those of a certain age, they will remember a very talented but, how should we say, mercurial group of trailblazers who ended up on the wrong side of the law. A lot.
This could also be related to present day with the gambling and the betting. I mean, it's all...
Yes, but these were other missteps, let's say.
Yeah. It's a big book.
Yeah.
Trailblazers history.
It just kept, one of the coaches like, please, could you stop landing in jail?
Yeah.
Could we just try and play the games?
That's why I kind of got a thing for them. It's hard. It's hardball.
Well, you know where I come out on that? The bad or the boys.
Exactly.
I'm right
We love the bad boys.
Yes.
We love the bad boys on this show.
Yes.
Let's get into that's good for the Italian Center shop. We do got trivia. 3 questions coming up in hour 3. Joaquin Gage as well. We'll be buying the Firehouse Subs hotline and the wrap for William Huff, all still to come. But that's good. Italian Center. I was this close to going there yesterday on my way back into town and picking up something for supper. Didn't make it out. Well, it was a lengthy drive, so I just decided to.
Let's get home.
Yes, it was one of those things. But, however, if you are looking for a little Easter Monday supper, make it easy on yourselves. They got the heat and serve pastas. You can just buy the sauces.
Mm-hmm.
I always bring it up with a great produce department there. Very fresh stuff. I think they got the pizzas, they got the sandwiches, they got the bakery, everything like that.
Italians have a rich history.
The whole thing.
Of doing produce really well.
Yes. Like it gets...
Look it up.
It's not talked about as much, but I do want to bring up the produce department there. It is.
Yeah.
And speaking as a former produce clerk, I must say, like I walk around with my hands clasped behind my back, like kind of inspecting, not, but...
Sure, from a distance,
I go, I get it from one to another.
Yeah.
I see what you're putting down. Game, recognized game. Italian Center, check them out on the West End today. I want to go a bit of a personal, that's good for me.
Okay.
Was a trip down to Jasper this past Easter weekend. Now, the weekend started off with the going away party for VR Montenegro at Westgate Boston Pizza, which I mentioned in the Good, Bad, and Ugly from earlier. A great time, as all, attended by a handful of nasties out there. Tony and Curtis did let me know in a little something that they've got coming down the chute for Oilers playoffs, and it involves Big Uke. But more on that to come. As we move forward. But a great Thursday night there, which led to an even better weekend for myself and my wife as we got down to Jasper. First time since the fire. Didn't know what to expect.
I've not been since the fires. Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of the community?
So you're expecting the worst, obviously, when you hear something like that driving in. Now there has been some time that's passed, so you don't expect it to be totally fresh. And that's not what we got. We roll in, obviously the fire approaching kind of from the south on a couple of flanks, but you're rolling in from the east there. And you're like, okay. And then you start seeing, the mountains and a lot of matchsticks just kind of up there.
I find that very eerie. I've been through some in parts of BC.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something a little bit scary.
It's very humbling.
Well, there's that too.
That this swath of area was...
I find fire quite terrifying of the things that could go wrong in our world.
Fire or water? They both water is the giver of life. It giveth and taketh away. But you can, yes. But so anyways, driving in, a lot of the temporary trailers for some of the houses. We took a little tour when we got in there, and a good folding mountain lunch as well. just before the park gates.
Yes.
Lynn Mercer, who gifted us $50 for our wedding. 4 year, it was like a 5-year-old gift card, and it's still, so that was fun. So a bit of a deal in that. But we get in there, get the lay of the land. Of course, the neighborhood to the northwest. That's kind of where most of the stuff took place. But man, the industry, like there's
resilient.
Oh,
both
God.
the terrain, but the people.
It's
up
all
there
going
to
on.
make it happen.
Things are being rebuilt. Things are now. It takes a little while, of course. Red tape. There's lots of things being that it's a national park, but having the opportunity to talk to a few locals down there. I mean, I really wanted to hear some stories, some personalized, accounts of everything that went down, which those are pretty emotional. But yeah, a lot of people lost everything. Some no insurance. I learned as well, which was even tougher. But resiliency was a big theme in a lot of those conversations. But I did say, and we said, we didn't want to come down too early. And a lot of people said good, because a lot of us were pissed off at the fact that people were kind of seeing it as a theme park tourist type of
chance to gawk.
And I mean, that's human
fair.
nature. That's human
fair.
nature. But gave them a little time to breathe. Of course, you want to support them financially. There's a double-edged sword there. So, yeah, if you were kind of hesitant or shall we say even, afraid to see what Jasper is now, don't be so much so. Again, everything's kind of with fire and destruction. You see that in forests as well. They said a lot of wildflowers now get a lot of that sun from no tree canopy. So you're getting a lot of, with destruction comes a rebirth, and certainly the town's doing that.
Rebirth is a good word to describe what, and not that Jasper needed to be reimagined. I'm not saying that at all, but it does give you a chance, albeit under terrible duress.
Yes.
An opportunity to go, well, if we had to start this over again, sometimes you get asked, what would you do if you had to start this from zero? How would you do it differently?
Yeah. One lady I talked to, she was the barmaid at the Athabasca Hotel. She said, I was going through a divorce, the Athabasca, correct? Mm-hmm. And she was wondering what to do with like old stuff from the, she said, this answered my question.
It got
I didn't have to get rid of it because it got rid of it for me. So that's kind of life going there. But we did take a trip Saturday to Athabasca Falls South.
Oh, okay.
And that stretch of drive, about a half an hour south, was just that's what put it in. I mean, just burnt trees the entire way south. Now the odd thing here was, it's funny how it kind of picks there'll be one little block of nothing, but
nature will determine.
Determine. But it was that south drive that really kind of it was a pretty silent car ride going down, and just kind of, and again, for lack of a better term, gawking at just the raw.
Well, we do slow down going by accidents, and this was not.
Yeah.
That's
kind of
just a horrific event.
Yeah, but anyways, I just wanted to give a shout out, and of course, I know we do the Marmot Basin Snow Reports here on the latter edge of the weeks for the crew. Brian, Marmot Basin. I mean, that whole trip up there too is a little different now with the roads and everything, but a lot of people out there, a lot of people enjoying the weather and the conditions on the hill. So get out there. Just a quick plug to Ski Marmot, skimarmot.com. This isn't an official snow report, but it was a really nice time up there weather-wise, and of course, skiing season. We're kind of on the back nine here, but get out there and enjoy it. Spend a little bit of money out there for that economy and get them kicking, because they'd love to have you. And of course, as you know, great amenities up there at Jasper and Ski Marmot. So that's my that's good for the weekend. It was a hell of a trip. It's one of those trips that you take with your significant other where it's just, nothing. Got myself a few treats that, like,
did you buy? That's where I was going to ask you. Did you, over and above, dining and wining and dining and doing
lots
what you
of that
did up there?
Lots of that.
Did you go into a gift shop and buy something that you perhaps didn't need, but it moved you?
Yeah, I bought a book on what do they call them? Blue jays, magpies, crows. What's the word of that bird? It's they have their own.
Don't ask me the particular genus.
Yeah, but it's a nice like coffee table kind of read about how personable and smart they are. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a bird guy, right?
Are you?
Love birds.
We've talked about this. We were in a bird. Were you in the bird draft?
Always wanted to be.
Yeah.
I did not know this about YouTube.
I got plucked out of that one.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that sucked.
Corvids, that's what they are. Corvids.
Oh, is that
of course.
corvids.
They're like a little more smarter than your average bird. They're a little more like, they can
they're like Mensa birds.
solve puzzles and
they're
that
smart.
type of thing. Yeah. I love them.
Birds are great. Not robots.
Yeah, the
As we
conspiracy.
discussed
You don't believe that they're robots, right? Some are, maybe.
Wait a
pigeons.
minute, that's the thing now too?
Yeah.
No, people think birds aren't real, and there's
That's right. We did.
Not
touch
all
on
of
that.
them.
Yes.
Not all
Okay.
of them.
No, I'm firmly in the. Yeah, they're real. They've been around for a while.
Says who,
Quite
Dave?
some time.
Says who? Says you. But
Okay.
Changing 100.
Any other wildlife that you saw there, LT?
well, that's the issue here, and
bears?
I'm gonna.
Lynx?
We saw a fox, which was cool.
Good.
A
That's a
nice
good
red
sign.
fox skimbling on the highway.
Yeah.
Of course, you see the elk. You see a lot of idiots, walking up too close to the elk. A lot of bighorn sheep on the side of, as they do. They come down from the thing and they're on the road and everything. But I still haven't seen, and the streak continues, and it'll probably last for some time,
A moose.
a wild bear.
A bear?
Still haven't
You've not seen one.
I haven't
How-
seen a
how
black.
have
I
you
haven't
not
seen a grizzly.
gone-
I haven't seen a brown.
What?
I haven't seen a Kodiak. I haven't seen any bear, polar bear. Yet to see a bear in the wild. I've seen a lot of them captive in the zoo, as you do, but that's kind of cheating the system there. I've yet to see a bear in the wild. Now, maybe this isn't the time. You probably want to go in the summer when they're all kind of, the sows
Out
have the
and about.
Yeah, and that type of thing. But
They're just starting
But
to come
please,
out now.
can you resist
Exactly,
the
yeah.
urge to pull over, and get out with the family and venture off? To get closer to the bear. Because just so you know, I'm always cheering for the bear.
Yeah, when that happens.
well, whenever you see a car pulled over anywhere around that area, you're like, what do they got going on here? What are they looking at? And then you pull over too. But no, I've seen moose. I've seen it all.
Of course, you're Canadian.
Except a bear.
Yet to see a bear.
Oh,
and I thought maybe I had a feeling the weekend was going so. I'm like, this would be a capper on it. But no, the streak continues, and hopefully I will be
bad,
back and see that bear sometime
I
soon.
want you to see a bear so bad.
I want to see a bear.
From a safe distance.
No, it'll all be good. I won't get out.
One of the
You're gonna be in
saddest.
awe.
They used to have a polar bear exhibit at the aquarium in Vancouver, or zoo aquarium, and it was one of the saddest things I've seen
Yeah, see,
done
that's
to
not-
an animal. But back then, I'm not absolving. We didn't know, or if we knew, we didn't care, and we're just like, "Oh, cool! There's a bear down in a pit with yellow fur, and he's attached to a chain." And he moves back and forth.
Yeah.
Hey, kids.
Like I don't consider seeing. I mean, you can go see a zebra down at the Edmonton Valley, right? Like they got them all there, and you may not. Definitely never have a chance to see a zebra in the wild. I mean, that'd be, unless you go on an African safari there. That I think Jasmine's going on one, isn't she? Soon
In this economy?
Well, yeah, she just does that on a whim. It's fine.
Oh, she's okay. So she won't be on the Hangout, or will she do that remotely?
Probably remotely.
Okay.
But yeah, seeing them in a captive environment just ain't the same. It doesn't hit. I mean, it goes without saying. Maybe I'm stating the obvious here, but no. Have yet to see the bear, but a great weekend in Jasper. So I just wanted to get that. That's good as well. Abutski says Oil Kings Blades Game 7 at Rogers tonight should be a gooder. Yes. That is good. Once again, get down, support the other oil in town, the Edmonton Oil Kings. Double overtime last night out in Saskatoon, defeating the Blades. Miroslav Holinka continues to do what he's been doing all season long, the hero once again. And the Oil Kings, I mentioned too, Trev, much like Rasmus Anderson, they were giving it large in Saskatoon last night. There's a bit of... We had Matt Barrett on last Monday.
Yes, we did.
Talking
Voice
after kind
of
voice
the Oil
of your
Kings.
Edmonton Oil Kings. And I think at that point it was tied at a game apiece. But we said, this has the makings of a 7-gamer, and certainly here we are
And there
now,
were,
but-
20 points between them?
Yeah,
Coming out of the regular
Blades
season?
6th, Oil Kings 3rd.
Yes.
But there's also that Edmonton connection with the Priestners, and our good pal Dan Tenser, obviously kind of running scouting shop for the Blades and everything. So it's a hell of a series. And again, Game 7, that's what you want. That's what everybody gets up for. Go down, support the boys tonight. Back on the ice after a double overtime yesterday. You get on the bus. You probably how does that for a junior? Like, it's right after the game. They're doing the overnight.
Well, you hit the shower and then you load up on the body axe.
Yes, spray
and
down.
Make sure your tube's nodding. He knows. He understands.
Stop in Lloyd for a quick sandwich or something on the
hoagie.
Yeah.
Probably get hoagies getting on the
midnight or roll in here at some god awful hour of the early morning.
And you get out and the sun is just coming up. And you're blinking and and then
you back to the hotel billet? Are you back to the billet thing?
Probably. slide back in.
So quick turnaround, but yeah, Blades Oil Kings tonight, 7 o'clock down at Rogers Place. Great tickets and for a very great price. So get the family out. Seats starting at $20. It's fantastic stuff. And junior hockey, I mean, whether it's AJ or the dub, always fun at this time of year. Getting it started before the big boys get into the playoff picture here with the Edmonton Oilers.
One game at a time, Eric.
One game at a time.
One game at a time,
One
please.
series at a time, one league at a time. Yes, Corvid. JMO is a Fed. Birds aren't real. So now they're...
Yeah, I've often been accused of being that.
You're on the inside and you're kind of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
often
floating the
accused.
idea. Yeah. You can also catch the WHL playoffs for free on the Victory Plus app as well, Cam says. So, yeah, if you can't make it out, obviously go support them. Get down there. Pack the barn. It'd be nice to see. But Victory Plus is where you can go in the app tonight if you want to watch Oil Kings Blades Game 7 down at Rogers Place. A few housekeeping notes here. Portions of this hour for Hammer Injury Law. Serious injuries need a hammer, Dave. Rick Mallett of Hammer Injury Law has over 35 years of injury law experience. Don't face those insurance companies alone. Contact today for a free consultation and start your injury claim today. Visit hammerinjurylaw.ca or call 1-855-98-HAMMER. If you'd like to play trivia as well, that's coming up in about 10 minutes' time. Kind of easy trivia. And a gift card to Mr. Mike's will be on the line, 780-218-9999. Say, I want to play trivia. And Trev will pick one of you. Be like the Islanders. Get a jump on this thing, hey?
Whoa.
Whoa. Too soon?
Timely and topical.
Pete DeBoer and the Islanders just quickly here.
Okay.
They are a point out of a wild card. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. The Senators this morning, like this week's going to be wild. Most teams having like the 2 games the following week. But this week we'll go solve a lot of things. And I'm going to say, JMO here, the Bruins are holding down a wild card spot. They're at 95 points. You then got the Senators at 90. The Islanders
Come on, Travis Green.
The Islanders at 80. Can he do it?
Drag him there.
Can he drag him in? They do have the better goal differential of all those teams by a wide mile here. So you could say that they should be or favored to be. But the Senators at 90, they hold wild card 2. Islanders at 89. Red Wings at 88. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Columbus also, they've lost 3 straight, 3-6-1 in their last 10. Wings and Jackets both on 88. You then have the Capitals at 87. The Devils, 83 points, not eliminated officially yet, but pretty much out of the picture. So you got Islanders, Wings, Jackets, Capitals, all on the outside this morning looking in. Is it the Senators? Or would you, I mean, because it's just flip a couple coins.
I know that the Ottawa Senators don't necessarily provoke a lot of emotion for us out here.
Yeah.
But I just, again, a team that's been on the outside.
If you're looking for Canadian teams that with a bit of a neutrality to them.
A very good story. Steve Staios, of course.
Yeah, there's a connection there as well.
Right. New owner. Well, not new, but Michael Andlauer, a new arena coming down in LeBreton Flats. There's something there in Ottawa that would make you want to, hitch your wagon.
Is it the Senators, Trev? Are they benefiting right now from a handful of teams failing down the stretch?
Yeah.
Can they do it? Will they do it?
Can they do it?
I mean, I know they can, but will they?
You know what? And it's going to be tough. I'll say they can, and I say they will. Just looking at Detroit, kind of.
Did you see the penalty that Patrick Kane took? Did you see the penalty he took that led?
Just a tough. The last few seasons, and some Mike the Michigan fan, he can speak for it. But just they just March is the month that they really just slip. They just slide out of the standings there, and they're doing it again. So that's too bad because they started strong this year. I know the Red Wings.
How many years has Yzerman had the steering wheel there in Detroit? How many years is he there?
The Yzer plan?
Yeah.
Steve Yzerman.
And I asked that because, he's one of those players or people in hockey. You're always going to link him, although he's been with Tampa, obviously. But given what he did for the Red Wings, you think, he's untouchable.
Yeah.
Appointed back in 2019.
Okay. That's a good run.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of track there.
Yeah.
You got to like what they've done, but you're right, Trevor. They haven't usually at this time of the year just
March,
kind of
it's always March. I saw
failing to cross the line.
Yeah, like they're just terrible in March. Just
Columbus Blue Jackets, though, too. I mean,
they're there, man.
Zach Werenski, though, if he doesn't get in, then what's that do for the North, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And
he's sliding. Like, he hasn't really factored in much in the recent stretch that they've been on. But
that's a hot take. He's playing himself out of a Norris.
Well, we've talked about even Travis Green and the whole Jack Adams thing. Like if he gets them like that, but we've talked about we've talked about Celebrini and the ability to push the Sharks into. I mean, I think they're still in the conversation, obviously here, and I think if you take him off that team, the value is. I mean, it's night and day to what he's done points wise. But if you don't get over the line and qualify that team, whether it's from a coaching point of view or a playing point of view, into postseason. Well, then what does that do for your individual award? I don't know. I know we just look at the individual numbers, but Evan Bouchard, what he's doing, I think, and seeing where the Oilers are at now, it's not been all Evan Bouchard, but 21st goal of the season Saturday night. And if Zach Werenski can't drag the Blue Jackets kicking and screaming into a wild card spot, well then, because that was all the positive talk about him is look where they are, and he's the back end force driving that thing. So
he on the ice, Rick Bowness on the bench. Look what they've done, and yes,
Bones, they call him. Yeah. Looking over at the West here quickly, we talked about the East. Mentioned the Pacific earlier today. Your wild card, Mammoth, 86 points. Predators occupy a wild card spot this morning at 81 off 76 games. Also 81 points off 76 of the Kings. So right there, Sharks 79 points, Blues 78. Jets 78, and the Kraken, they continue to fall and drop down. They're sitting at 75. We could probably say goodnight to the Kraken.
They're done.
Not officially. The Flames haven't been bounced from playoff contention yet either. 72 points.
I always love that.
I hope they don't get eliminated officially until like the
I read a pretty strong takedown of the work Ron Francis has done. I know they did make the playoffs, I think, in their second year. Was it there? That, he did not have a stellar record in Carolina. And then he got the job in Seattle, and it's been just meh.
32, 32, and 11.
Well, that's meh.
Yeah.
The way I understand it.
A game above 500 at home, a game below 500 away. They're just
kind of inoffensive.
Tough watch.
Yeah.
We don't need to body bag him here, but I can't.
No.
Like at least, I don't know. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Jets, Blues, Sharks. On the outside looking in this morning, Kings, Predators, both 81 points. The Predators right now into that wild card spot based off wins, but both on the 533 points percentage as well. So, we'll keep an eye. Certainly this week's going to be very interesting in terms of seeding, kind of who's in, who's out. But, of course, looking at the Pacific, 87, 87, and 86. It's the Oilers, Ducks, and Golden Knights on points. All even games played with the Golden Knights turning up the heat as of recently. So,
best time of year.
Well,
best time of year in the NHL.
We can do this every second. Do this every second day, but who would you rather? Again, from an Oilers fan point of view, Trev. And now I know getting the Golden Knights is going to that'd be a fun series. I know you mentioned off air that Utah Mammoth wouldn't even feel like a playoff series, albeit that's what you get for winning the division.
Yeah.
So who would you want today?
Who would I want today? Like it's still between it's the Ducks and Golden Knights. Like obviously, it's going to be tough to play either one of those. Just looking at the standings here, but you're going to play potentially one of them. I would like to see the Golden Knights. Like give me a lot of that.
I want Mammoth, and I'm going the other way because I don't know them. I mean, I know some of the play, but because they are still and I know they did move from some relocate, but this gives you a chance to perhaps ignite a new rivalry.
Well,
like what they've done in Utah in very short order is build up a fan base, build a franchise, and it looks like something that could have success.
They're doing it right.
Having it now, and they might be set up to have a nice run here.
Yep.
So I go to the storytelling. Yeah, the rivalries are baked in with Vegas and I guess to a lesser extent Anaheim. But Utah, I wouldn't dismiss that series for the quality of play that we might see.
I hear you there, and it would be rather interesting. Now you get the juice in a golden eye. It's maybe a little less so with the
all
Ducks,
of that
but that's
comes
your divisional.
baked in.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Your thoughts, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Once again, if you want to play trivia coming up next, text into that number, 780-218-9999. I want to play trivia, and you can unlock Feast Mode from Mr. Mike's. That's coming up next for Hour 3. Also, 3 questions too many. Can always flex a few in if you need, specifically for Dave Jamieson here while we have him on the desk. It'd be nice to get some questions answered from him. Joaquin Gage will be by on the Firehouse Subs hotline midway through Hour 3, and the wrap for William Huff. All still to come. Hour 2 of the show has been brought to you by GameSense. When gambling, set a budget before you play. Stay informed. Visit GameSenseAB.ca to learn how. Remember, if you gamble, use your GameSense. A sports update here with YouTube Trev. We'll be back in a couple minutes if you're listening on 95.7 Cruise FM. A quick traffic update from Pauline Higgins. And hey, if you are watching on YouTube, smash that thumbs up. I know we've changed 100. Got to be approaching that 200 for an Easter Monday here.
Given the quality of the show to this date.
Well,
to this point.
Dave. Well, slow down there a bit. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As well. Sports update for Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Massive 7-game slate in the NHL last night. Sidney Crosby has done it again with the Pens' 5-2 win over Florida. Sid has officially secured his 21st straight point-per-game season. Dylan Holloway tallied 3 points to lead the Blues past the Avs. He now has 14 points in his last 10 games. The Wild edged the Wings 5-4 behind Kirill Kaprizov's 87th point, while Porter Martone notched his first career NHL goal in a 2-1 Flyers win over the Bruins. Ottawa doubled up on the Canes 6-3. The Rangers dismantled the Caps 8-1, and the Habs saw their win streak vanish in a 3-0 shutout loss to the Devils. The Islanders have pulled the trigger on a coaching change, firing Patrick Waugh and hiring Pete DeBoer. Waugh's tenure ends after just over 2 years on the island. Just 4 games tonight, but a massive head-to-head between Macklin, Celebrini, and Connor Bedard highlights the schedule. Plus, Nashville visits the Kings at 8:30. The Sabres play host to the Lightning, and the Kraken take on the Jets. On the diamond, it was a weekend to forget for the Blue Jays, dropping 4 straight, including a sweep at the hands of the White Sox. They look to wash that taste out of their mouth today with the World Series rematch against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer takes the bump for the Jays. First pitch is an early one at 11:07. In the association, a busy 11-game Sunday saw the Raptors fall 115-101 to the Celtics. They'll look to bounce back tomorrow night against Miami. Elsewhere, rookie sensation Cooper Flagg went nuclear, dropping 45 points to lead the Mavs past the Lakers. Tonight, just 5 games in the NBA. Finally, over at the World Men's Curling Championship, Canada's gold medal drought extends to 9 years. Matt Dunstone's rink fell 9-6 to Sweden in the final. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc. I'm YouTube Trev. You're up to date.
95.7. Edmonton's own The Wet Secrets playing you in here for hour 3 of the Nielson Show. Yeah, it's good. You know, Lyle and the boys there, and gals, a great local act there. Very good. Hour 3 of the Nielson Show continue here. Of course, the hangout coming up if you are listening to 95.7 Cruise FM, and you go, hey, why stop the sports talk at 9 o'clock? It doesn't. It goes straight up all the way. Local programming 6 to 6 Monday to Friday here on EST. Hangout 9 to 11 today. You've got the Lock Shop with Jason Milne today. That's 11 to noon. You've got the Oil Stream with Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev, correct? You were on the oil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. EST Afternoons, Matthew Iwanek and Joaquin Gage, 1 to 3. And the Reed Wilkins Show, 3 to 6 here on EST. Sports, 6 to 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We are presented by Play Alberta. Trev will be wrangling up guests coming up next for Kinda Easy Trivia. Want to let you know, hour 3 of the show as well, brought to you by GD Liquidators, Auctions and Appraisals. Mention EST, get 5% off anything new or used. Don't miss their monthly online auctions at gdliquidators.com. Canadian owned and operated. Make them your first call at 780-447-2787. Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen over the next couple of days as well. Lieutenant Eric here with you. As mentioned, Gage coming up midway through the hour in the wrap, all still to come for William Huff. Light night in the NHL, 4 games, but some with big importance is the Kraken are in Winnipeg. Talked to those Western teams as well, nibbling around the edges, trying to make something happen. Sharks at home to the Hawks. A big one in LA between the Kings and Preds. They're even for that wild card spot. And a titanic matchup from Buffalo. We'll see the Lightning visit the Sabres.
Oh, take me there.
Real howitzers tonight on the ice. 4 games,
if it's
of course.
Monday, it's on Prime.
You know it. Yeah. Oilers, of course, back in action tomorrow, looking to get back in the win column in a potential opening round matchup as they're in Utah to visit the Mammoth, kicking off 3 on the road. Jays also, big series getting underway later tonight. 5:07 first pitch. Dodgers and Jays from the Dome, Dave, is what they call it. Max Scherzer towing the rubber tonight for Toronto. So, should be a very fun night in the world of sports for your Easter Monday. Trev, we got somebody for trivia. I heard you were on the phone there. And
yes, we do.
And?
Playing today is Michael.
Motorcycle. Have you played before, Michael?
Yes, I have.
Beauty. Okay. So you know how we go. You need 3 out of 5. You are playing for Mr. Mike's, where I want to remind you, feast mode is activated. $39.99 gets you a choice between the Emperor's Caesar salad or the rustic onion soup to start. Then you can add a 6-ounce sirloin with lobster butter or the grilled chicken surf combo. Feast mode activated. You need 3 out of 5 to get this GC, Mike. We'll start the ticker after Dave reads the first question. Good luck.
Who did the Oilers lose to Saturday night?
Las Vegas Knights.
Who coaches the Golden Knights now?
Don Tortorella.
Who did the Oilers play tomorrow night?
The Utah Mammoth.
Did the Islanders fire their head coach?
Yes, they did.
Is Peter DeBoer the new head coach of the Islanders?
Yes, he is.
Mustache feeling.
I have very thick black hair all over.
Right on the money.
Look at all that girth. Here's the play fake.
80 yards and a touchdown to Quintorin. Another touchdown. Lopez Jones.
That's slam, Newton.
Down goes Conte.
It is day 75 of the NHL lockout.
Now returning to exciting 15th round action at the Canadian Football League draft.
There's a lot of Argo jerseys out there, a lot of double blue, but there was guys in business suits and people in cabs.
Toronto Argonauts have won the historic 100th.
Woo! That'll be so much fun.
Good for you, son.
This is one of the most valuable teams in the National Hockey League.
This has been agonizing.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm sure you can see it in my face. I haven't slept in a month. Wow. 2 months.
I think if you would poke me now, I wouldn't really feel that.
35. Bring it on. Pressure put on. And Eli's pass is caught for a touchdown by Ruben Randall. And it's caught for the touchdown by Victor Cruz.
All of you lie. All of you have said something wrong. All of you have dirt.
If there's one thing America needs, it's more lawyers.
Sometimes you have to lose to win.
Hailing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Wearing dark blue trunks and a blue stripe.
I didn't check the sprinklers. Breeze throws back across his body. It's intercepted by William Moore.
If fans think they're disappointed, I can assure you the general manager is far more disappointed.
The third interception of the night. Moore still on his feet to the 41-yard line.
Suck it! There you go. Congratulations to Mike. He's off to Mr. Mike's, where Feast Mode has been activated. He wins the trivia today and unlocks a Club Beat Loop remix from the vault. Good job, Mike. We love you, buddy. That was kind of easy trivia. Let's get into 3 questions too many right now for the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he actually has a pet bear tied up in his backyard. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Check them out today, parkmazda.ca or out in Sherwood Park. Maybe go see Mitch and say, hey, can I
see your bear?
Can I see the bear? Yeah. Yes. And he'll charge you $5 a gander. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Social media, you can follow Edmonton Sports Talk on the X, Dave, at YEG Sports Talk. That's YEG Sports Talk on Twitter. Also, once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our pursuit of 14.4K subscribers continues. And smash that thumbs up if you haven't already today. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
All of it.
All Edmonton Sports Talk. Where can people follow you, Dave, on social
X,
media if they want to?
Just like ZZ Top.
Just there.
The Dave Jamieson.
The Dave Jamieson, at the Dave Jamieson. Yeah. Trevor, where can people follow you online if they want to...
If you want to follow me on the line, you can do so at YouTube_Trev. Okay. Twitter and Insta.
What happens when we hit 4? Is it 14.4?
Yeah.
Is that
the next pillar? Yeah.
That's the next
small
leg
pillar.
up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then we look forward to 14.5. There's no real, it's those big numbers. You want to get to the 15. I think that's the.
Is that the
wait? Yes.
That's the play. Question number 1 today.
Yeah.
In celebration of me not seeing a bear in the wild ever, which where is that? I want to get to this. Somebody.
Bears.
I'm watching Artemis, so you guys
Oiler
continue doing whatever it is you're doing. I'm just watching the crew is having a blast here. They're
Oiler fan 1961. I had to pull over and comment on LTE not seeing a bear. How do you live in Alberta and not see a bear? Yes. Laugh out loud. Hey? They're all over the place. How could you not?
Well,
Very
your
common.
timing isn't great, clearly.
No, I don't go.
You came around the corner and the bear just, went in after doing whatever
it's not like it's not like there's herds of them.
No.
Like the likelihood of it's not. Now, I know somebody's saying where they live. Jamming. Seeing a bear in the wild is harder than it sounds. Only seen a couple in my lifetime. Somebody said, I have them on my property all the time. I get that. Like if I lived near the ocean, I'd be like, oh, you haven't seen a whale? What are you talking about? Like,
you're fine.
What am I supposed to do? I don't live in the rough.
You only go to the mountains. How many times?
Yeah,
you're not there all the time.
No,
so it goes to frequency.
They're not here in the city.
To frequency.
Once every 20 years, one will rumble down the river valley.
Remember,
I guess there'll be a sighting.
At the old studio, and I took pictures of it. There were a couple of moose.
Yeah, moose
outside the old.
I remember
EST.
that.
No. Is it that laughable that
it's not laughable? It's okay.
It's understandable that you haven't seen it. Laughable, well,
that guy definitely is like. I mean, he lives in the bush. He's in the thick
LOL. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
it's like he's Bear Grylls texting our show.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, that's definitely him.
That's Bear Grylls. Thank you for listening, Bear.
So, in celebration of this, if you could be an animal for one day in the wild, which animal would you be? And I'll open it up. You can do aquatic, bird if you want. Any sort of animal.
A corvid.
You need type of genus from the corvid family. One animal, one day, 24 hours. We start the ticker right now. Poof, you are a
jungle cat.
You're going out there. Yeah.
I am going with
South America or the
puma.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Or a black panther, like something that is obviously tough, because I mean that's sort of how I am.
Beautiful animal.
Beautiful
stealthy too. Yeah,
and not to be trifled with.
Yeah. No, you're
Leave
alone.
It alone.
You're alone type of
majestic.
Right. Does a lot of thinking by itself, and then when it's ready to pounce, it pounces, and looks good doing it.
I would be a peregrine falcon.
Oh,
yes. It's the fastest recorded speed by any animal in the history. Well, I shouldn't say the history, but right now, modern day, when they dive, when they do their dive,
so coming down to pick up.
Yeah, well over 100 miles an hour, which is crazy. My favorite, like if you ask me, like what's your if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I'd want to fly. Like, that would be it.
I could see
With 1 foot on the ground.
Yeah, what the heck? Flashback.
Yeah, just
Zach had a howler in the hangout last week.
That's not flying,
I
Zach.
don't understand how you kind of
Anyway, but
square that circle.
yeah, I like that. To be able to fly would be sweet. So I think I want to be a bird, a peregrine falcon to be specific.
Damn LTE, I've seen multiple bears in Parkland County. Laughing emoji. Chris the plumber says, I've lived in Alberta my whole life, lived in Canmore for a year, still have never seen a bear in the wild.
Okay.
Lucas says, I saw 2 black bears at the Prince Albert dump. Go to Lake Louise, ride the chairlift, Timberwoodsman says, in the summer. Always out on the ski runs. There's an electric bear. Yeah, but again, like I don't go ride the chairlift at Lake Louise in the summertime. I maybe once, maybe twice
Now
if I'm
you
lucky
will,
a
though.
year. Well, if that's the place to do it, yeah.
Now the listenership has got it in your head. Hey, Eric.
I appreciate the advice on where
You know
to
what
kind of
they've
go.
done?
I want to get the
They've done pre-scouting.
pre-scouting. It's always good. I'll write these things down and
pre-scouted
remember
the
them
trip
next
for
time.
you.
But it'd be more of a surprise. I don't want to go out there and make it a weekend of trying to find one. I'd just like to be going, and then all of a sudden, hey,
Happens organically.
Exactly.
Oh, look,
yes.
it's a bear.
You don't want it chained up. It's
No,
Jurassic Park thing,
We're
right?
not doing that anymore.
Question number 2. National Fresh Tomato Day. Favorite way to eat a tomato?
Oh.
Because there are quite a few. You can slice them. You can juice them.
Dice 'em.
You can dice them. You can. I mean, it's a very well-rounded fruit, I guess. Right? It's not a vegetable. It's
That's
a fruit.
right. It is a fruit.
You can incorporate it into a sauce. There's lots of. I personally don't like eating tomatoes. I find them very.
I like them.
It's the juicy, the meaty type of thing with you.
Oh, it bothers you?
Like a thick slice. People who do those thick sliced tomato sandwiches. I understand they're good. People love them, but you put a little salt and pepper in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really turn my crank. Now I won't mind like a grape tomato or cherry, like the smaller.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I could see that lobbing it in.
Yeah, or
Like you
diced.
were-
If I'm eating a tomato, it's got to be very small and not a lot of juiciness to it. Because it kind of people eat it like an apple. That freaks me out. You got the skin and the whole.
As you know, with my challenges, I like omelets, and I often put small diced tomatoes.
Small diced tomato.
in omelets.
Like I'll go to town on a nacho plate.
Of course.
Put some tomatoes on there, sure.
Yes.
Don't really like fresh tomato. Like fresh tomato on a pizza doesn't. Like
No, I used to
slices
like
of-
that. I haven't for quite some time.
I'm going to be completely honest.
You've never had a tomato.
No, I have. I just don't taste tomato. Like what is it? It doesn't taste like anything to me. It tastes like water. And it's like a cucumber.
It is a juicy.
Yeah,
fruit.
I don't know.
No doubt, that's part of the experience.
You're
not getting a flavor. It's
No.
not coming through.
Tastes
for
like
you?
nothing.
ketchup.
No,
I guess you
it
could-
doesn't. I love ketchup. I don't taste I don't know. So a tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce is where I'm
That's
going.
the thing. Like I have a tomato. It doesn't taste like tomato sauce.
Fresh, not jarred.
I don't.
Or
I
maybe
don't
you'd
get
like
it.
it. I mean,
where
it's
does that
just,
flavor
you know-
come from?
No, I don't mind putting the tomatoes in the pan, then with a little bit of oil, taking the skin off, and then making it homemade. I don't mind it out of the can or the jar. Italian Center. I mean, you can buy the Cadillac
yeah.
of those sauces and those big like Coke bottle type of things.
Salsa.
Oh, so good. Salsa, yeah,
I had
I
some
don't mind a
salsa last
salsa.
night.
You had some
Yeah.
nachos? Mm-hmm. You make your own, or
So did I.
salsa, or you
just like
jarred?
a snack, just a little light snack.
Jar salsa.
Yeah, I didn't make it. But yeah, salsa, any sauce. I just
I mean, you got to admit, it's kind of a 5-tool fruit. Like it can go a lot of places.
Absolutely.
Hit for average.
This text,
Defends
you
well.
guys have never obviously tasted a nice homegrown tomato.
See,
stuff at stores are garbage. That goes with most things.
Yeah.
And yes, everybody grows tomatoes. I mean, they're one of actually, tomatoes and potatoes are the gardener's choice really in this climate. Everybody's always growing. Tomato plant's a little tougher, I think, to maintain than a potato plant. But if you can grow them I get it.
It's a skill I wish I had to grow my own produce, and I don't know why. I've tried it without much success.
Well, you got to be.
I know there's a
I hear
patience.
it's like
and
parenting in a way. Yeah, there's a lot
little
of
bit.
trial and error.
Yes.
Plenty of bears at Evo, so I've heard. That text comes in from Dr. Evil. Boys, I live in St. Albert. There was a black bear walking on top of our fence last year. Flasher. Yeah. There's always, every 20 years, there's like reports of a bear in the river valley, meandering through just trying to make it wherever.
And why does that surprise? I know it's noteworthy.
Yeah,
but it should not surprise you.
No, but it's always like it's not common.
Isn't the ribbon of green through Edmonton's River Valley the longest in North America?
Yeah. Urban
Park or whatever we call it. Yeah.
Somebody sent in a video. Nolan from St. Albert, buddy, caught this bear on video and recording my swing at the Hinton Golf Course a couple of years back.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
Again, they're not. You know, what's the one down in what is it? The Emperor or the Boss? That's
Boss.
The one.
Yes.
And he himself
out.
has hit like 3 trains.
Yeah.
Like,
He just kind of bounces up.
Trains
like,
usually hit animals. He hits the train, and then he's like,
Yeah,
that
just sort of continues on his way.
It's like 100 years old.
Yeah, he's looking more and more rough. I'm like, there he is. He just emerged from hibernation last week.
Right.
There's a spotting.
Yes.
But he is...
well, he is slowing down.
That's why I thought this weekend would be the one, because they're all kind of coming out of
they're coming out
of the thing. They want to get a little snack or something.
Big yawn.
Yeah.
Like you in the morning when I see you.
Yeah. That's me.
Big old bear.
Yeah.
Bob.
It'll be fine.
Tube Sock says, I thought we eradicated bears in St. Albert years ago. What the hell are we paying all those taxes for? I think is that a Simpsons joke there, Tube? I don't mind that. This text, I've lived my whole life in Alberta. I've never seen a tomato I wanted to eat.
I thought we eradicated
That's
them.
a good combo there with whoever you are, anonymous texter.
Yeah, I like that.
Sign your name. Be somebody in the Paris Jewelers inbox, please.
Yes, please. That moves way up the depth chart for text of the day.
Yeah, we got a handful already playing for.
There's some good stuff. I like it when it
Royal
goes
Pizza
meta.
here.
Hey,
yeah, I've lived my whole life in Alberta. I've never seen a tomato I wanted to eat. Love that. That's really great. Question number 3.
Yes.
And we did kind of touch on it. We were going over the. I'll stick it to the West here.
Okay.
In terms of the Western Conference playoff race or the wild card chase, however you want to call it.
We want the cup.
Who at the end of the day is wild card 2?
What are my options here?
Predators, Kings, Sharks, Blues, Jets, and I will cut it off there. Kraken, Flames didn't make the cut.
No.
And I'm not going to go over all of their schedules.
I can't make it intelligent.
Who do you think? Who do you think?
Can I just go gut?
Yeah. Give me a gut. That's all I want. This isn't a scientific.
Sharks.
Interesting.
Because of Celebrini and a couple of other young guys.
He'll drag him in there.
Yeah, that's it. I probably, if I were to spend 20 minutes on this thing, I could, perhaps come up with a more educated choice.
Yep.
Wherever Ken Holland is, I'm down for it. But I don't
you
think
support.
his Kings. Yes, I support his vision.
The Kings seem like a weird one to me. The Predators are back in good graces. They've won 2 in a row, 7-3 in the last 10. I know last week they hit a bit of a blip. And before that, they played themselves into the conversation.
But they rose Phoenix-like from the ashes. Like people were, okay, Stamkos, you're going to have to wave your no move.
But it was up and down.
Up
and down, up and down. Trev, are you going Blues?
You know what? I actually am going Blues.
Why? What? Because?
Well,
Binnington.
Show us your work.
I was going to say Sharks, but then you said Sharks. So I was like, who else is there? Then, you know what? The Blues, they kind of the opposite of the Red Wings. They come hot the second half of the season. This year, it's taken a little bit longer for them to get, I wouldn't really say hot, but they're definitely playing better hockey as of late. 6-2-2 in their last 10. Dylan Holloway is leading the charge for those Blues. 14 points in his last 10 games. 3 points.
Don't go there, Trev.
3
I know
points
you're going to go somewhere here.
Game last night.
Okay.
Yeah, he's looked awesome. Broberg also, he's got like a 5-game point streak as well.
Yes.
So those players are like the main push, driving force for those Blues.
Offer sheet.
And you know what?
Don't go there.
And they're going to take them to the playoffs. So that's my answer. The Blues. And they just find a way. They do. But if I'm being completely honest, I think the Predators, they hold that last spot. I don't think it changes.
Really?
Do it for Barry Trotz.
Yep.
Do it for the Trotz.
Last year.
Yeah, Predators and Kings both on 81 this morning. And, of course, a big game tonight from LA between those two. Fascinating here down the stretch. Both in the West and the East. East, you've got a lot to take care of here as well. So, but we'll leave it just to the Western question based on where we are. The bear thing is really surprising. Joe from Stoney says, especially when it seems as though seeing a moose is a given. I guarantee I've seen as many bears as moose, if not more. Yeah, I mean, I've seen lots of moose. I've seen bald eagles, for crying out loud, owls. And they're the most silent of them all.
They are.
Like they will just
Can't
you look
even
up
hear
and you
them
see
fly.
one. No, not at all. And there'll be a little
something about it. Stealth mode.
Like a shoebox with wings. They're kind of just a little
compact.
Real, yeah.
No wasted space.
Nothing.
Face just kind of pushed in and
staring at you.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, they are.
They're intimidating
in their own way. Yeah, they are.
They stare. They don't stare at you. They stare
comfortable in their own feathers.
Through you. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Penner's Pancake says it will be the Kings. They have the easiest schedule.
With
Is all
anything the easy at this stage? I mean, I'm not disputing their.
With all the complaints with the playoff formats, doesn't the excitement of the wild card race make up for it? Sean inquires.
Thank you.
Well, great play there, Sean.
Right, and
yes.
Sean is correct. And this is what if in the laboratory of Gary Bettman, and there is a laboratory.
I think, though, too, that the complaints regarding the playoff format have largely circled around the 3 divisional, and how you get the same old. That's. I don't think anybody's been complaining about. Certainly the wild card in the races that are involved in that, but it's getting kind of your regular opponents time after time in those 1, 2, 3 spots within the.
Well, does that not speak to on a level that those teams that are finding themselves in those positions have been consistent?
Yeah.
And consistently good or great or excellent.
Humans, Dave, though, we just get bored. We want it new. They should have a
That's why
rotator.
I want the mammoth.
Have your 1v8 for 5 years, go back to this format, then go back every 5 years and just keep it fresh.
We just have short attention spans now.
Well, where's that phone here?
Yes, right there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have an
Artemi
update here, Artemis?
I'm just watching.
I know, but
watching. They had crew shots. Now I'm looking at. I'm assuming that this is them in.
Where are they at with proximity to the moon? Are they
I gotta scroll down. I just love it when they cut back into.
They said it looks bigger now. The moon is bigger.
Geez, it's pretty
but is
big.
it a real moon?
Well, now we're gonna.
Some
people say this isn't even happening.
It's getting bigger.
I know it's all done CGI.
Some sort
green
of
screen.
down in Louisiana. They have a compound.
They could fake it.
Well, they could.
Yes, they could.
But are they still approaching the moon, or are they kind of like behind it? Like we don't know where
they're still approaching it.
They're still approaching it. More on this tomorrow. I'm glad you're in again for another day because we can kind of by that time they'll be at this rate. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Let's get to a sports update here. Joaquin Gage will be on the way here. We'll discuss.
Gager, we call him.
We call him Gager, of course. EST afternoons. He'll be riding again with Maddie Iwanek later this afternoon, 1 to 3 here on EST. But sports update here with YouTube Trev. Our own Peregrine Falcon, and it's for the Edmonton Sports Talk Bids for Kids event presented by GS Construction in support of kids sport. You can join Gene Principe, Mark Conley, and Dustin Nielsen, among others, Tuesday, April 14th, 5:30 to 9 for a live hot stove, delicious buffet, silent auction, and more. Get your tickets today. KidsportBidsForKids.com. It is the Nielson Show. Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric here on EST, presented by Play Alberta. We'll be back with Gager in a couple of minutes.
A massive 7-game slate in the NHL last night. Sidney Crosby has done it again with the Pens' 5-2 win over Florida. Sid has officially secured his 21st straight point-per-game season. Dylan Holloway tallied 3 points to lead the Blues past the Avs 3-2. He now has 14 points in his last 10 games. The Wild edged the Wings 5-4 behind Kirill Kaprizov's 87th point, while Porter Marteau notched his first career NHL goal in a 2-1 Flyers win over the Bruins. Ottawa doubled up the Canes 6-3. The Rangers dismantled the Caps 8-1, and the Habs saw their win streak vanished in a 3-0 shutout loss to the Devils. The Islanders have pulled the trigger on coaching change, firing Patrick Waugh and hiring Pete DeBoer. Waugh's tenure ends after just over 2 years on the island. Just 4 games tonight, but a massive head-to-head between Macklin, Celebrini, and Connor Bedard highlights the schedule, plus Nashville visits the Kings at 8:30. The Sabres play host to the Lightning, and the Kraken take on the Jets. On the diamond, it was a weekend to forget for the Blue Jays, dropping 4 straight, including a sweep at the hands of the White Sox. They look to wash that taste out of their mouth today with the World Series rematch against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer takes the bump for the Jays. First pitch at 5:07. In the association, a busy 11-game Sunday saw the Raptors fall 115-101 to the Celtics. They'll look to bounce back tomorrow night against Miami. Elsewhere, the rookie sensation Cooper Flagg went nuclear, dropping 45 points to lead the Mavs past the Lakers. Tonight, just 5 games in the NBA. Finally, over at the World Men's Curling Championship, Canada's gold medal drought extends to 9 years. Matt Dunstone's rink fell 9-6 to Sweden in the final. The Sports Update is brought to you by Edmonton Sports Talk. Bids for Kids event presented by GS Construction in support of Kids Sport. Join Gene Principe, Mark Connolly, Dustin Nielsen, among others, on Tuesday, April 14th from 5:30 to 9 for live hot stove, delicious buffet, silent auction, and more. Get your tickets today at www.kidsportbidsforkids.com. YouTube Trev, you're up to date.
Ever since he was a young boy, he hasn't been very tall. From Zona up to Edmonton, he's the oil fireball. Yeah, we ain't seen nothing like him, don't need no Taylor Hall. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He flies around the ice rink with terror in his eyes, hitting all the D-men, all the bigger guys. He plays with inspiration, bounces up when he falls. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He's a PK wizard, he clears the zone so quick. A PK wizard's got such an active stick.
PK Wizard, a throwback for one Josh Archibald there as Hour 3 of the Nielson Show continues here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Of course, the Nielson Show, as always, brought to you by Weiss Johnson. Check them out today, weiss-johnson.com. Book an estimate today. AC, heat pump, hot water tank, garage heater, and more. Get 15% off, plus no interest for 24 months. You heard the PK Wizard there. All of our Nielson Show originals, which is that being one, is for Sport Ball. And we want to let you know in this deal, use code word EST15 for 15% off select classes right now. Sportball.com is where you can go if you want to get the young ones involved. Focusing on fun first, no pressure, just play and learning. EST15, 15% off select classes. Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen. Lieutenant Eric here as well, joining us right now on the Firehouse Subs hotline. Always welcome on a Monday morning. Joaquin Gage, co-host of EST Afternoons, who will be alongside Matthew Iwanek later on this afternoon. More on that show yet to come. Of course, Formula One taking a bit of an extended break, so not much to discuss on the grid, unless there is something that Gager wants to bring to the table, which he's always more than welcome to. We'll get to the Oilers. We did have a conversation, Gager, and you and I always like to keep the conversations pretty, we usually talk about food and stuff and what we do on our downtime. But your thoughts on the NHL playoff format? I don't know if I've ever, would you want to see it go back to 1v8 in the classic way? Or are you cool with how things are right now?
Well, good morning, first of all, guys. The thing I always thought, and I think I brought this up with Dusty, he looked at me like I had 3 heads, but I just like the Olympics or something, every 4 years, you just go with a 1 through 16. So every 4 years, there would be the actual possibility that, the Edmonton Oilers could face the Calgary Flames in the Stanley Cup final, something like that. Now, that will never happen. I get it, but I think it would be fun just to have every once in a while. The biggest the thing that we were talking about for the majority of the season, I think, is just the fact that when you look at the Central, the Central Division, the Minnesota Wild, Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche, you could have one of these teams out in the first round, and is that fair? But I don't think it's all just about that. You guys have been talking about these races and the flip-flopping, and I think this is what Gary Bettman wants most. Wherever your allegiances lie, where with your teams, the last thing you want is for them to be out with 2 months left to play in the season, right? And you can't, like, everyone seems like they're still around. They're still, their heads are barely above water, but they're breathing still. So
right,
exactly,
hope. And have more games. The way I see it, Gager, is have more games matter to more fans, right? Because as you say, like if you're out, 2 months ago, and I'm the owner and I'm looking at half empty arenas, my games, the team is not playing games that matter anymore. That's not good business.
No, not at all. And now you throw in, hey, you know what? We'll get some more butts in the seats. We'll fire our coach and get a new one in there. Heck, we'll have babies in our stadiums and do it that way.
Well, Derek Van Diest.
They had the baby, but then the OEG group charged him for an extra ticket. That's why they left.
Where's that mitt? Judge coming through
the
to work today.
hottest of takes.
Let's go back to Saturday, though, Gager. Yeah. The Oilers are on a very nice run heading into that one. Of course, we see these Tortorella Golden Knights who seem to be rediscovering themselves on the fly here going down the stretch. What did you big pullaways from Saturday night's loss?
It looked like a team that one team had the little coach's bump, was executing at a higher level, and the Oilers just looked at that slight step behind, right? Mm-hmm. They were all like almost there at times on the defensive end and all over the ice. So the Vegas Golden Knights were the better team, I thought, for the better part of that game. They had some good goaltending, but these games are going. It doesn't worry me at the level of play that they've gotten to. I think that when you look at when Leon goes out, it's weird to say that you still can rally around and buckle down defensively and get wins even without a great player like Leon Draisaitl. But Zach Hyman, when you pull the heart and soul out of your team and an engine that your coach says, if you don't know what to do, just watch that guy, right? And we saw it last year in the finals where it was too much to overcome. Now, I'm not saying if Zach Hyman's in the lineup, does the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup last year, but it
wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to get into the alternate universe and see what actually did happen with a healthy Zach Hyman, with that parade of hits he was going through with that playoff run.
Hey, what did you make of the play of Carter Hart? And I don't know how much you've seen of him. There have been injuries, and he, it's a little bit more of a choppy return to play for him than certainly the Knights would have liked. But what do you make of where his game's at?
It looked good. It didn't, from what I watched before, like he obviously having that time off and being out of the NHL for a while, it's going to take a lot of time to get back to where he was before, even if he can, right? You still don't really know. I don't think he's reached that level yet. But he looked good. I don't think the Oilers tested him like too much, but he did make a couple good saves and kept the Oilers at bay, didn't allow them to gain any momentum. But I found his game good. Good NHL goaltending. That's all you want, right?
You play the team across from you. You play the game. Next one up. I know the players don't care, but what would you say is a preferred opening round matchup for the Oilers at this juncture?
Gosh, it's funny because I would have said the Knights, and then I'm like, ooh, they look like they've got a little pep in their step. Does it really matter? I mean, part of me wants thinking, gosh, could it be the Kings again at some point? Like, this is ridiculous. I could see Oilers fans probably leaning towards, if it was possible, like a Nashville game, but that's probably not going to happen.
No.
The Mammoth, young, not a lot of experience. They might be able to expose them. So you're trying to find the best outcome, right? So I would pick the Mammoth, to tell you the truth. And they've had their way with them. They've had a lot of success. A lot of guys have had career nights against them. So I'm gonna stick with the Mammoth.
Peter DeBoer in, Patrick Waugh out on Long Island. Your level of surprise that the Islanders made a change, albeit, following on the heels of what Vegas did.
Shocked. I mean, it'd be interesting to get the behind the scenes of how this process went. I think you said it earlier, JMO, the fact that they were going to do this anyway, most likely, and DeBoer wasn't going to be available, and they went for the top guy that's out there right now. And look, they probably what expedited this decision was the fact that you look over at Vegas and all of a sudden they seem to turn things around in a short time, and there's not a lot of time left. But it'll be interesting. I guess DeBoer's already. I didn't look, but I think he has a little bit of term on his deal, right? Then Torts is just kind of he's
get us to the end of whatever this is.
Yeah. So, I guess what if it doesn't work? You're still paying Patrick Waugh for 2 years, more years after this. You've signed another coach long term. Yeah, you hope that he can kind of right that ship and get these guys into the playoffs. Because if it doesn't work, it's kind of a bad look on your GM, is it not?
No racing, obviously. A couple of Grand Prix missed here in Formula One. May 3rd, Miami Grand Prix. I know you follow this sport under a microscope here. What happens now for this month? Because this isn't something that, was planned or was designated earlier on, obviously with the geopolitical and everything like that. So is there anything happening? Is this just a firm break? Everybody goes off, or is they're practicing and testing and all those types of things?
I think, well, of course there was word that they're going to run somewhere, because it's 2 weeks where they're not going to get any data, right? But I think the most interesting thing over these next few weeks is how the FIA is going to possibly change the output of the battery and what the regulations are for moving forward with this season. Because there's a lot of people that are really upset at the racing. Although there's a lot of passing, a lot of takeovers, but it's who can manage the it's become somewhat like Mario Kart. It's charging the battery and you overtake, but if you can just get back at a later time because the other guy's depleted his battery. The pure racing aspect is gone now. The full, going full into the corners and trying to hit the apex perfectly, those are kind of gone. And with from what I've read, the AI just figures out when to deploy the battery best, and so it takes some of the control out of the drivers that way.
Nothing AI can't do, hey?
I guess not. We might as well just watch virtual racing if that's the case. So we'll see. I think they'll probably come up with something by Miami here, and maybe this is a good thing. All right, maybe this is a good thing because they've had a few races, they've seen what's going on, and now they can make the best decisions moving forward. Because Formula One, it's hot right now, right? It's even for the people that the Drive to Survive people have joined on. It's a great series. I watched a little bit of the last season. It's fantastic. They do a great job. So I'm sure they'll get it figured out.
I've never asked you this, at least on air. I can't recall you and I having a chat off air about this, but how did you fall so deeply in love with F1? Was it that first Drive to Survive and you got, I won't say sucked in because it was compelling. You were brought under the tent for the theater.
Yeah. It was Drive to Survive, obviously late on a Sunday, watched way too many episodes and got 2 hours sleep. And then the thing that fascinated me most about the whole thing was the relationship between the teams and the two drivers, because it kind of mirrored my experience in athletics as being a goaltender, because you had two goalies and you always wanted to be the number one driver, but then you had to compete against the other team. So that whole thing I was fascinated by. And of course Drive to Survive does such a good job of, the dramatization of the drivers in a team, and watching some of the old movies and fights and Schumacher running down and punching a guy, so I'm like, wow, this is really, really interesting to me. And then you get into the cars and the development and how everything's different, and then the personalities of it all. But I think the original thing that drew me in was just that team aspect of two drivers on the same team, not unlike goaltenders, and then not only battling amongst themselves to be the number one guy, but also against all the other 11 teams now.
Joaquin Gage, of course, co-hosting EST Afternoons, usually alongside Hernan Salas, who was taken ill last week and now is planned days off this week, which I know you kind of raised an eyebrow too. But you'll be on with Matthew Iwanek later today. How's that working relationship going with you and Iwanek on the show? Does he let you kind of come up with all and do most of the work, or do you just kind of lump that on him as you usually do with Hernan?
Oh, I lump it JMO said it. He's got really broad, heavy shoulders that can handle
He's a slender man,
the heavy lifting.
Slender man, but that doesn't mean he can't carry a heavy weight.
Brick by brick.
Yeah. He's I told him, get the Baxa set out, Matty, because this is going to be a tough few days.
Yeah.
Joaquin Gage, appreciate your time again, buddy. Have a good show today.
Thanks
sir.
Joaquin Gage joining us there on the Firehouse Subs hotline, where you can check them out today. 15 locations in and around the greater Edmonton area. Easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs, hot, hearty, made to satisfy. And we thank Gage for his time. Once again, he'll be by 1 to 3 today alongside Matt Iwanek, which means you saw somebody walk up the steps, Trev. Was it Matt or?
That was Matty.
Anybody else? Okay. A tease for the hangout today? Is Murray back from his vacation too?
No, I just saw Tommy pull in.
Okay.
And
so Tommy and Matt. Usually
Murray's
it's
in
Murray.
Mexico.
Is he still there though?
I would think.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he can.
Imagine rushing home to do the hangout.
No, but I didn't know how long his trip. Maybe he did come home and I don't know.
Sure.
But usually Murray on Monday, so we'll see a bit of a surprise here for the hangout. Coming up 9 to 11, if you are listening on 95.7 Cruise FM, you can always pop by either the iHeart, TuneIn Radio apps, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or on the YouTube. We're, again, continue to smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hangout coming up 9 to 11. You got the Lock Shop with Jason Milne, 11 to noon. Noon to 1, the Oil Stream with Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev. In on that show today. And, of course, EST Afternoons with Gager and Iwanek. And the Reed Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. That's coming up 3 to 6, all here today on Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, nay, great. Check out the team at WilliamHuff.com, in business since 1952. So you know they are incredible what they do. WilliamHuff.com. Gentlemen, we'll go around the horn. What did we learn on the show today?
Corvid. I did not know that.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Not a
When I'm done with the book, I'll lend it to you and you can read it. It looks very interesting. There's pictures and a whole bit.
I'm not intimately familiar with the bird world, as it were, but I did not know that term.
Fascinating world.
Yeah, they're very smart. Those puzzle solvers and all that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of personality. They recognize faces, like all that stuff. Predatory,
smart creatures.
Yeah.
Keep the theme. Keep it animal themed.
Sure.
I learned that you've never seen a bear in the wild. That is
correct.
Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of
you
people
need to go out more. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
you need to get out.
Walk, I'm going to the wrong clubs.
Have you ever walked before?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Nah, I mean,
just look up. They're in trees sometimes.
Oh, all the time. Watching.
That's true, yes. It's not just birds in the trees.
Like the Dr. Seuss cat. No, one day I will, and it'll be great, and I can't wait. But as you said, Dave, earlier, I want it to be organic. I don't want to go and search for one or wait by a spot and then with hundreds of other people taking pictures.
Long
lenses.
No, I don't. No. I don't need that stuff.
Don't need that fantasy tour there. But
That's crazy, man.
It was crazy to some, but to others, I mean, I
had to pull over to
LOL.
Come on.
It's not that like jeez.
Anyway, what did you learn, LT?
Nothing.
No.
That's it?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I learned you will be here. You're here today. You'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Dustin Nielsen's
Apparently.
scheduled to return Wednesday, but we'll play day by day here. Day to day is his status.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to your text of the day.
Oh, this will be good.
We've got 3 here, boys. And they all provide a little something different from this morning. Text option 1, and they're playing for a gift card to Royal Pizza. Royal Pizza is still making it great. You can order your supper tonight, right now, and it'll be ready by tonight. You go online.
How do they do that?
RoyalPizza.ca. Well,
is that AI?
AI, I would say. Yeah.
Got it.
Can't wait to see a team be up 2-1 in the first round and pull the trigger on a coaching change. That comes in from Spruce Grove Corey.
If Lou Lamoriello were still doing, the Lord's work.
I've seen it up. They're up 2-0. They lose that one, and he sees the writing on the wall.
That'll be enough.
I need to make a change.
Yes.
To the bullpen.
Hey, Robbie Fedor, got a minute?
Robbie. That comes in from Spruce Grove Corey. Text number 2. Lacombe Drew. Don't be a coward, Dreger. The EST listeners have got your back. In terms
you want to
of
give the backstory to that backstory.
Dreger got... well, he told us last week about Ryan Rashog and his family living in his parents' basement while they get renovations, which we didn't. He just left us with the living in the basement. So then our minds raced and we said, I wonder
what's happened.
And he said, Randine, Ryan's lovely wife, he said he doesn't care about, what did he say about Rashog? I would drive a bus over him back and forth 17 times. He doesn't care about Rashog's opinion, but he said he didn't want to speak ill of Randine and kind of maybe, I guess, the family at large.
But he alluded to that his comments had created an issue.
Yes.
And so we started our segment, and you can go back, as you can with everything these days, and you'll see it there. He opened the show on a very somber note, as if he had run afoul of the Rashogs.
It was no act. But again, Lacombe Drew, and like, it echoes my feelings as well.
Right.
Darren can always speak freely. This is his hit.
Oh, of course.
It's sponsored.
Unfettered.
GS Construction.
Unfettered.
GS Construction would pass the hat around if he was fined.
We'd all chip in.
Darren, we've got your back. It's a play on words there. And text number 3, this comes in from an unsigned texter.
Oh.
I've lived my whole life in Alberta, and I've never seen a tomato I wanted to eat, which plays off the bear discussion and also National Tomato Day, as we were talking about how you consume a tomato.
To all those who observe.
To all those who observe, exactly, yes. Easter Monday, also National Tomato Day.
Yes.
So, boys, where do you want to go here? I mean, we'll do a Democratic vote. Spruce Grove Corey, coaching change, 2-1. Trevor's yawning.
I like the tomato one.
You like the tomato one?
That's where I go.
I know. It's crafty on the words.
Yes.
He's bringing two things together.
Said it, I laughed.
The Got Your Back is pretty good.
Yeah.
Spruce Grove Corey, he was in early with that one. It was good off the coaching change thing. It's an entertaining
Everything
scenario.
In context, right?
Yeah,
so you got to remember what these are in response to.
Yeah.
These texts come out of or off a conversation we're having or an interview or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But the tomato one makes me smile.
Sharp listeners, Dave.
Yes,
that's what we had. That's what we're very proud of. Much more sharp than us.
Than doing the show.
Than those 2 dopes on the desk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you too. I mean, all 3 of us dopes. Yeah.
3 dopes.
3 dopes here. So yeah, unsigned texter, you've got it. You're off to Royal Pizza. Maybe you'll get fresh tomato on the pie. I've lived my whole life in Alberta. I've never seen a tomato I wanted to eat. You are off to Royal Pizza for the text of the day. Let's get to your sound of the day. Another Club Beat Loop remix from the vault, unlocked today by Michael. He's off to Mr. Mike's for hammering kind of easy trivia today. 5 for 5. Mikey went.
I have very thick black hair all over.
Right on the money.
Look at all that girth. Here's the play fake.
80 yards and a touchdown to Quintorin. Another touchdown. Lopez Jones.
That's slam, dude.
Down goes Conte.
It is day 75 of the NHL lockout.
We now return to exciting 15th round action at the Canadian Football League draft.
There's a lot of Argo jerseys out there, and a lot of double blue, but there was guys in business suits and people in cabs.
Toronto Argonauts have won the historic 100th.
Woo! That'll be so much fun.
Good for you, son.
This is one of the most valuable teams in the National Hockey League.
This has been agonizing.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm sure you can see it in my face. I haven't slept in a month. Wow. 2 months.
I think if you would poke me now, I wouldn't really feel that.
35.
Bring it on.
Pressure put on, and Eli's pass is caught for a touchdown by Ruben Randall, and it's caught for the touchdown by Victor Cruz.
All of you lie. All of you have said something wrong. All of you have dirt.
If there's one thing America needs, it's more lawyers.
You know, sometimes you have to lose to win.
Hailing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Wearing dark blue trunks with a blue stripe.
I didn't check the sprinklers. Breeze throws back across his body. It's intercepted by William Moore.
If fans think they're disappointed, I can assure you the general manager is far more disappointed.
Third interception of the night. Moore still on his feet to the 41-yard line.
Suck it!
There you go. Congratulations to Mike unlocking a Club Igloo remix from the vault that is your sound of the day. And, of course, all Nielson Show audio, songs, vignettes, whatever you want to say.
Everything.
It's all for Sport Ball. Once again, sportball.com. Use the code EST15 for 15% off select classes. Spring is the perfect time for kids to get active, try new sports, and build confidence, whether it be soccer, baseball, basketball, football, and more. They focus on fun first, no pressure, just playing and learning. Sportball.com, code EST15, 15% off select classes. Gentlemen, what are we watching tonight? We went over this NHL schedule tonight, which is just 4 games, but 4 very important games.
With importance.
Starting off, Jets at home to the Kraken.
I need start times. Because I'm going to lock. Well,
if you want to go from that. Well, this isn't too important, but I mean, these are two. This is a heavyweight battle from Buffalo, 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Mountain. Sabres at home to the Lightning. Just a titanic matchup there. Was that not the game a little while back where it was like 16-15 or whatever? Was that the two teams that were going at it?
It was like a lacrosse
The Lightning
game.
Sabres?
Yeah, that was them, right? That we had all the...
I think it was... Oh, yeah. There's so many goals.
Goals,
fights.
Fights,
the whole thing.
That was the one, yeah. So round 2 from Buffalo tonight, Sabres and Lightning should be delicious.
Okay.
Then later at 5:30, Jets at home to the Kraken. Big game for both those clubs down the stretch here. Sharks, 8 o'clock, hosting the Blackhawks. And at 8:30, I know you'll be staying up late for this one, Dave. Kings, Predators.
LAK.
Wild card spot on the line from La
and
La
then
Land.
you got your Jays.
Good games.
Well,
Don't forget the World Series rematch.
I think a lot of people want to forget about it. Mike Taylor in the Nasty Chat, the 3-game set with the Dodgers could be ugly for Canada's team. They are not looking too sharp. Well, they're not. It is early. There's a lot of tread and track to go.
Yes.
The Yankees are kind of head and shoulders above in that division right now, but the Jays do have the benefit of, with their 4-5 record, even with the Rays, Orioles 3-6, Red Sox. So it's not like you have 2 other teams also punching high and kind of getting into a big hole. So
it's all good.
Yeah. Well, really, you kind of got to take the good. Scherzer on the mound tonight. Dodgers first pitch 5:07 in that one. 5:07 tomorrow, and then a matinee on Wednesday to round out that 3-game set from Toronto in a World Series rematch. Dodgers, Blue Jays. They'll be up for it. A lot of injuries, but.
And it's the Dodgers, and there'll be, I'm sure the opening of tonight's telecast will have all sorts of images of people.
Hazel May.
Downcast, yes.
Yeah. She's got a book coming out, you said?
Out, yep.
That's what I learned on the show today. Yeah.
Yes.
A book coming out. Dodgers 7-2 thus far this season. Picking up where they left off, I guess we could say.
They're going to be fine.
I think they should be okay.
Yeah.
Reed Wilkins is on the hangout this morning alongside Matt Iwanek and Tom Gazzola. They'll be by 9 to 11 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you were listening this morning on 95.7 Cruise FM, the Sports Talk does continue. EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart TuneIn radio app, and, of course, on our YouTube channel where I highly encourage you, again, sub to the channel and pound that thumbs up. Give us a like as well on the show. Goes a long way. That does it. Hour 3 of the show has been for GD Liquidators. Auctions and appraisals. Mention EST. Get 5% off anything new or used. Don't miss their monthly online auctions at gdliquidators.com. You can give them a call, 780-447-2787, or visit them 14510 124th Ave. For YouTube Trev, Dave Jamieson in for Dustin Nielsen. He'll be back with us tomorrow morning. We'll get you set for Oilers and the Mammoth from the Big U, Utah. Game day tomorrow for your Oilers. We'll be back for that. Oil Kings in action tonight as well. Game 7. Best 2 words in sports. Oil Kings Blades, Game 7.
Or lockout.
5 words. Yeah. Game 7 tonight down at Rogers Place. Should be a big one there. So Hangout's coming up next. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night.